And hello, hello. It's Toasted Foot Girl. Y'all, hold on a second. Let me put this up there. Um, some of you may have heard that the night before Thanksgiving, I was making sweet potato pies, and I took one out of the oven, and it, for some reason, I don't know, the little pie tin thing just like buckled, and I couldn't hold it then, and so it dropped down the middle like that, and just landed right on my bare foot. I saw Jesus. It was so hot because it was fresh out the oven. So I've been gimping around here with a burnt up foot for the last week, and it's finally starting to look like it's something decent, and I'm not in such pain anymore. So here we are. We've been. Oh no, got the first person I see is that crazy girl. But anyway, I'm glad to be back. What I tried to do, since I really wasn't, up to sitting here, because I was like, oh, ow, ooh, ooh, ow, too much. It was just stupid. So I was making some clips so you guys would have something to watch and see, in my absence. So take a look at that. It's probably about 20 or 30 of them. I put all kind of clips up to keep you entertained while I was mending on the mend. Yes, my daughter was like, oh, maybe you shouldn't cook barefoot anymore. I'm thinking, yeah, you're probably right. It's probably a good idea. A good idea, as my grandmother used to say. But anyway, let's get on with the show. Now, this was the show I was going to do uh, the night before Thanksgiving when I ended up in urgent care. And so then I thought, well, maybe it's not that bad. So then I tried to switch it to Friday. Oh, that so didn't happen. So anyway, what I thought, since it was a holiday weekend, that, I would do more questions. So this paper has 36 questions on it. Will I be able to do 36 questions tonight? Absolutely not. I will try to make it to 30. I will do my best. If I have to stop at 25, 26, something like that, we'll see. Thanks, Sliver. Yeah, getting some rest, because I really couldn't do anything else except lay in the bed and feel sorry for myself. So they kind of took care of that rest aspect. Oh, first, let me just show you all. I have to show you all. I went to the farmer's market today, and I got some of the best strawberries you have ever seen in your life. Look at that. Look at that. Fresh picked, or organic, as they say. And they're really super sweet and delicious. I even gave some to our turtles, and they were chugging down. So yeah, that's what I try to do since I finally was able to get up out the house. I went to the farmer's market, my big event of the day. So let's get started. Yeah, they're really good. I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna make like a strawberry shortcake or something, but that would require me to bake again. See, that might not be a good idea. So I might just have strawberries with some vanilla ice cream, like I have some sense. All right, let's move on here. Let's get started with these questions since there's so many of them. Hopefully some of them will be short. Question number 1. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from Chico, California. The young man in question, oh, that's a good idea, is 22 to 27. Summary of issue. Am I too independent for my boyfriend? I'm 21. I've been dating my boyfriend who's 23 for almost 3 years. Oh my God, that's so long at your age. Since I was little, I've always been hyper independent. I'm the oldest daughter, and he is pretty much the opposite. He's very clingy and dependent on me. We always argue about me needing time for myself to focus on school and studying because he simply doesn't get it. He puts me above everything and doesn't place importance on many other things. I need my alone time and I have standards to uphold for myself. I guess I'm wondering if this is an incompatibility thing or if it can be fixed. That's who he is. I mean, what is it that you don't understand? He's been this way for 3 years. You've been tolerating it fine for 3 years, so why is the problem now? See, this is the part. This is the thing that drives me crazy about women. You see how a dude is when you first get with him. So you try to close one eye and squint and look through rose-colored glasses and do all kind of stuff because you're more focused on the relationship than you are the man. But it should be the opposite. Who is he? How does he roll through the world? Does how he rolls match with how you roll? Does how he think match with how you think? You guys don't pay attention to that until years later. Then you want to be throwing up your hands and acting like, well, now it's a big deal. Don't you see how unfair that is? And it's the same thing when men do it to women. When people come to you, that's how they are. You either accept them the way that they are or you leave them alone. And in this case, you accepted them and now you want to complain about it 3 years down the road. So all you're gonna happen is, you're gonna end up breaking up because one of these days you're gonna get so frustrated you're gonna like explode on him and tell him you can't do it anymore. Because I've been there. I'm like you, and it's just you can't. It doesn't work with them kind of clean dudes. They need a woman who's into that kind of cleanness and would relish it and feel like super loved and all that kind of stuff versus annoyed like you and I do. We just feel annoyed. Like, go do something with yourself. Go find something to do with yourself. Just get out of my face. But he's not that kind of dude. And so, you're going to either be in a very miserable in a relationship. Well, both of you will be because neither one of you will be getting what you want. He won't be getting the closeness he wants, and you won't be getting the space that you want. And both of you are going to be unhappy. So have the courage to end this. 3 years of this is enough. It's enough. Go find you somebody else. Preferably somebody who's older and more got more going on, so they'll be busier and their mind will be focused on other things. He don't even want you to study. That's doing too much. Question number 2. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's African American from Virginia Beach, Virginia. The guy in question is 28 to 34 and he's white. Oh, that's going to be interesting. In Virginia. Summary of issue. He said he's normally not attracted to black girls. Not the first time I've ever heard this in my life as someone who dates primarily white men. But I want to know what goes on in their head when they approach a black woman and say something along the lines of not being attracted to black women normally, but you would be the exception. I'll withhold my answer. Y'all feel free to put what you think in the chat room. I think it's gross and disgusting. I know full well that I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but it's just a weird fucking thing to sit there and hear someone say as this is some kind of fucking compliment. I understand having a preference, but I think it's something deeper than that. Deb, to make it worse, then they try and backtrack as if they didn't mean it that way and try to explain themselves. Immediate turn off for me. To me, it makes me think that you're not really going to appreciate anything about me and what it means for me to be a black woman. Have you ever heard this mess before? What are your thoughts? Yeah, I've heard of that mess before. I've also heard and had to cuss somebody out who told me, well, you're not like the typical black person. And they said it with pride, like, they was bestowed upon me some kind of great honors or something because I'm supposed to be the special nigga. You see what I mean? So white people listen to this, learn sometimes to shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Stop talking because you say stupid stuff. Then nobody cares what you normally attracted to. Who cares? I mean, last week it was probably a redhead and the week before that you liked midgets. So I mean, what the fuck? I mean, nobody cares what you used to like or didn't used to like or never liked before, never thought about. It's irrelevant to here and now. Shut up. Men just talk too damn much. Well, yeah, I mean it is game, but see, it might be game, but Grace, you got to consider this. The age group that she's in, 22 to 27, there are a lot of people on the spectrum in that age group out here in the dating pool. They don't have the social filters and the social awareness to know when they're being inappropriate or when they're being absolutely downright like stupid, annoying, disrespectful, that kind of stuff. they don't necessarily connect all of those dots. And that is something that I've talked about with several different psychologists about this age group and how many of them are on, have these problems. So we're dealing with a whole new kind of society that doesn't get like sarcasm, find nuances of things. They don't understand like puns. I mean, there's all kind of stuff that they just over their head. So I can't say what you're saying as a fact. I'm sure it's that case, in some of the cases. But when we're dealing with such a large scale number of young people on some kind of autism spectrum where they just don't get social stuff, then we have to also honestly factor that in as well. So, in a kid's situation like this, though, um, the person who said it to me was much older, and I knew he knew what he was talking about. And, he got cussed out. I'm just telling you, I just went straight hood red on him and told him all about himself. And don't you think that because you white and a male, that what the fuck you say to me is supposed to be some fucking compliment or something, supposed to elevate me, my status, and make me think I'm better than other black people just because you fucking said so? He got told all kind of about himself. He just didn't know what to do, just standing there going like this because I just ripped him. But in a case like this, when you a white dude says some shit like that to you, tell him, you know what, you too stupid for me to date because I'm not talking about woke. You not even like in the bed. You just stupid. I just cannot even. In this day and age, in 2024, yeah, that's what he said. I'm not like the typical black person. That's what he said. Like, motherfucker, how many black people to even try to make that kind of determination? Let's start there. You know, ignorant fool. So anyway, yeah, girl, it is very irritating. I don't know why they think that shit is fun and a compliment. It's nothing but negging, and it's race based negging, and it's not cute. It's unintelligent. It's not flattering, and it's highly disrespectful. Nobody gives a shit about your attraction. Keep your mouth closed. It's like dude going up to somebody who's blonde saying, "Well, I'm usually not attracted to blondes." What the fuck are you gonna say that to her for? What is it that you're saying that for? What is that supposed to do to help her like you more? You idiot! Shut up. Question number 3. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from Santa Barbara, California. Summary of issue. I feel like my mother babies my older brother too much. My older brother's a freshman in college and I'm a high school junior. While we were growing up, I was always the overachiever while he didn't do well in school. My mother says it's because he has ADHD. Due to this, he always got extra attention from my parents. Despite expectations, I never resented it because my parents made it evident that he needed, quote, extra help. The problem started when he entered 7th grade. My mother realized that he was about to be in high school, and if he continued to do horribly in school, it would affect his college prospects. My mother started doing all of his out-of-school assignments, sitting beside him, helping him study for quizzes and tests. I can understand how she did this for a 7th grader. Oh, boy. God, Michael, why is this? I'll be buying this cheap paper and be sticking together. I can see how she would do this for a 7th grader, she says, but she still does it. She learned Python to do his coding assignments for him. So what's he supposed to do when he's on a test and he has to do it right there in the classroom, or when he goes for an interview and they say, well, here, code this? He's not going to get the job, so I don't know what she's doing. Though I repeatedly told my mother that this is seriously hindering him, she refuses to let me say a word against her precious baby. Is there anything I can do? Nope. Just remind her, it's like, are you going to go on his job interviews with him and are you going to go to work with him every day? Because other than that, what you're doing is just going to set him up to fail. And that's all you say. As soon as he's on the job or has to do a job interview, a practical test, he's going to fail the test. What you going to do then? That's all I was saying. Just drop it, okay? Question number 4. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Denver, Colorado. Term issue. Are men really this gross these days? Is water wet? I have a friend that recently divorced, and she's just gung-ho about finding someone else to fill the void of everything. And against my strongest advice, she got on a dating site. I told her she needed to heal before she tried to date again and just to stay busy and try to have fun. Her kids are grown, so her home is lonely for her now. I told her exactly what to expect and how a lot of the men will ignore her, reject her, or act nice, but are really jerks. I told her not to come crying to me when something happened. This was about 4 weeks ago. You know the stories because the bomb is about to drop. Yesterday, she calls me and she's sobbing. She kept saying, "Why would somebody say that? What did I do to respond to something like that? Why would someone be so disrespectful? I don't understand." After she calmed down a bit, she began to tell me that she got on a site called XYZ, which is supposedly for people over 50. Oh, I see. Candace changed it. She took the name out of it, make it XYZ. People over 50, she is 64. She uploads 2 pictures, and of course, immediately there are all these likes and messages, so she goes to check them out. She would have to pay to reply, so she sent a little heart to someone in interest, and they would have to pay to respond to her. So this one man that she thought was so cute had sent her a message, and she paid $45 to see what the guy had to say. He lives very close and writes, "Hit me up on Facebook," and tells her his name and where he lives. He was within close proximity to her, so she looked him up and noticed they had a lot of mutual friends. So she chats a little and then goes to her mutual friends and asks what kind of guy he is, etc. Is he married? All the scoop. And she was given pretty good reviews, so she went back to Facebook later and the guy wanted to meet. So she invited her to her home and she put, "Oh my God," in parentheses. And he's bringing steaks and she's doing salad and stuff. She said he got there late, forgot the steaks, and she had to send him back to the nearest store to get them. He was supposed to have already had them marinating. She had potatoes and salad and just knew he would leave and not come back, but he did. But he had these tiny little steaks, so she starts them marinating and they sit on the deck and talk. She said he was very charming, super funny, and just crazy. She wasn't crazy about him, wasn't really attracted to him, but they did have a good time. He left early to go hear some of his friends play music at a bar, but she didn't want to go with. She said he hugged her when he left and was just sort of vanilla. She really wasn't too interested. But yesterday she gets this text, "Hey, just wanted to let you know I had a great time with you. Thanks for having me over." So she thought that was polite and she replies, "Yes, I did too, and thank you for getting the steaks. I had fun too. I haven't had that much in ages. You are a nut." A few minutes later she gets this text, quote, "I'll give you a nut you'll never forget." Okay. Okay. So she's like really upset. What do I say to that? I told her nothing. Don't reply to that at all. Completely ignore it. No, you gave her bad advice. What you're supposed to do is take a screenshot and put it on your Facebook page so all those mutual friends could see how trifling he is. That's what you're supposed to do. You are supposed to clown him into oblivion, humiliate him, and pull back the cover, the curtain rather, and show who he really is as the Wizard of Oz. Because he ain't the wizard, right? Same principle. Pull that curtain back. Let me tell you what your raggedy friend that y'all gave such high reviews to did, and put it on Facebook. That's what I would do. So you don't have a savage mindset. You don't never just let a man get away with no shit like that. I told you all, you have to match energy. When they do fucked up shit, you do fucked up shit, and you do it back like the Uno reverse. You have to do it. You have to do it so they can see what it feels like when they act stupid. There have to be repercussions for their behavior. You cannot just turn your back and just accept it, because then they just go away thinking it was okay. I'm never going to advocate that a woman do that. I want you to always clown the fuck out of them. You can be a passive aggressive clown, just like I said, take the post out and put it up on Facebook and let the friends do the rest of the work, all the mutual friends. Tag them on the picture. Tag him too. So anyway, let's see what else happened. So I would completely ignore any further calls or texts from him simply because of his character and the audacity to say something so assuming and cheesy and totally inappropriate. I would have kicked his ass for treating her that way. What was he thinking? Why did he say that, Deb? Because he's trash. She said there was no talk of anything other than music, family, and being retired. And he showed her some videos of him playing the harmonica in a jam session with some friends. There was no touching, kissing, anything at all. To me, a man that does something like that is just a man with bad character, a lower caliber person that I would not want to know or hang out with. Trashy, I guess, is what I mean. She promised me she wouldn't talk to him anymore, but I think that's just scary. I told her to get off that dating site, and she said she tried, but they won't let her. Yeah, tell her her subscription runs out. Is this common these days? Deb and listeners, what would your reaction be to this? And how would you handle it? Or do you think she took his text wrong? I told her, as far as I was concerned, there was only one way to take that, but we will be listening closely for your response. Well, you already heard, I didn't know you was going to ask me that, but I already told you what I would do. There's no way in this world he could get away with that. And every woman who would read that would know what his intent was. But that's how they try to do it. They try to make it in this, this way, so it's down the middle, so they can claim that that's not what they meant, although they know very well what they meant, and only a stupid person would not take it that way. So that's how they try to get away from it. They hope that you're dumb so that you don't catch it, or that you're too scared to call them out on it. And so then they, well, that's not what I meant. You took it out of they. She could see. I don't go on them sites enough to even know, but that's a good point. Sliver just said, if you tell your friend to report that text, and then she can request a refund, and they'll report his account, because that was just inappropriate. And he tried to pull that stunt like the dude did with me, where he didn't bring the wine. I told you he came up to my house. He's supposed to bring. I made jambalaya and everything. Shrimp jambalaya, shrimp and chicken jambalaya is not cheap, and he gonna show up there with the smirk on his face and no wine. I was like, oh, just go over here and watch TV. And I put all my food in my Tupperware and put it in the refrigerator. He's like, well, when are we going to eat? I'm like, you ain't eating because you didn't bring the wine. You not going to feed me? I came all the way over here. I'm sure not, because that was our agreement. I did my part. You didn't do yours. So you don't get no food. And I'm thinking now, don't get jiggy, because I have weapons all over my house, and I would just reach under this couch and get one. So let's not do that. He didn't, though. He looked mad, but he just got up and he said, well, I'm leaving. I'm like, bye. Bye, motherfucker. Oh, you have? Oh, see, I didn't even know you could do all that, but that makes sense, though. They have to have some kind of way to protect the people on the site. Well, I hope she said they'll be listening. They'll be listening closely. So do what Sliver recommended. That sounds like a really good idea, just to put the final nail in his coffin. But take that screenshot and post that up on Facebook right quick. Mess with his life. Question number 5. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group, St. Paul, Minnesota. The male's also 18 to 21. Summary of issue. My boyfriend is struggling with my vow to wait until marriage, and I think we need to break up. I've been seeing a guy who I really like, and he officially asked me to be his girlfriend last weekend with balloons and a custom pizza. The pepperoni was shaped into a question mark. Oh, how cute. Which I thought was adorable. He's 21 and I'm 18, in case you need to know. I told him that as long as he was comfortable with the fact that I don't want to have nook before marriage, that it would be fine. He stayed in my room over the weekend, and he was very handsy. When I asked him to stop, he kept on repeating how beautiful he found me, and would stop for a few minutes and then start again. Okay, that's when you're supposed to throw him out. Why did you let him stay? It really upset me, and I wasn't sure what to say then other than get up and leave the room. I haven't talked to him about it yet, but I think that we should break up. I just feel horrible about myself now. Do you think he lied about being okay with saving for marriage? Do you think he's just assuming I'll give in? Is this grounds to break up after only just starting dating? That's not the grounds to break up. The grounds to break up is when you, as a woman, tell a man, stop, no, I don't want to, don't do that to me, I'm not going, those kind of things, all those no's. And he does it anyway. That's the reason why you break up, because he's not respecting you. All the other stuff you talked about, I mean, that's great and everything, but that's not the core issue here. The core issue here is you said no, you said stop, you said I don't want to, leave me, don't do that. This is what I want, how I want to live my life. And he tried to get you to do it anyway. He did what he wanted to your body anyway. And so that is the reason why you break up. Yeah, handsy. That's why you break up. And once you have to tell a man no or stop more than one time, you should immediately break up with him. There should be no more chances. You don't need to argue with him about it. You don't need to negotiate with him about it. You don't need to do anything. For all you know, he could see you as some kind of trophy. Like, yeah, she was trying to save it, but I tapped that ass. So, when a dude acts like that, you can't trust him because he's not listening to your no. So you're going to break up with him. Anything that he gave you, you're going to give it back. And you're going to block him on your phone and tell your family that, he's not to come to the house. If he comes knocking at the door, they are not to let him in. Be very careful that you let everybody around you know the situation and that the reason why you broke up with him. Okay. Don't be trying to keep it a secret. You're going to need them to kind of corral and what they call circle the wagons to help protect you because he sounds like a kook. Yes. Immediately. Just immediately. You just get rid of them. There should be no negotiation. I don't even like it if I have to tell a little kid stop more than one time. I'll be like, okay, now didn't I just tell you not to do that? And then they look at you all big-eyed and stuff because their parents never check them like that. The parents say, oh, I'll buy you ice cream if you don't do it. They want to negotiate. My thing is you going to stop because I told you to, little motherfucker. That's how that's going to roll. And then they be like, well, they want to do it anyway. Then the repercussions start. They want to play with my iPad. Oh, no, that only goes to the little kids who listen. Well, can I have some ice cream? You sure can't, because that only goes to little kids who listen. Well, can I have some, whatever it is, cookies, because, I have all kinds of treats. No, can't have none of it. You're going to sit there right there, and you're going to watch some educational TV videos on YouTube. That's what you're going to do. And you're going to learn some math or something, and that's going to be your punishment. You're not going to get no treats. You tripping. You out your mind. Little brats. My daughter, when she acted stupid one time, I took everything in that girl's room. All she had was a bed, her clothes, and what did she have? Oh, like a dictionary, pens and pencils and paper. That was it. I stripped that damn room. She didn't have nothing. No toys to play with. She didn't have shit in that room. I took a computer. I took everything. Put it in the trunk of my car. And so she was like, where's all my stuff? I said, oh, wait, what stuff? What of that stuff did you buy? She's about 11 at this time, so plenty old enough to know, understand repercussions. And I'm like, well, what's going to happen is you're going to get your grades and you start coming in here with enough A's, you can start earning your stuff back. If the end of this report season comes and you still fucking up at school, I'm going to take that shit and I'm going to give it up to the church and donate it to the kids at the church. No, mommy, no. I said, yeah, you got, whatever months it was for the rest of the semester to get your shit straight. And I mean every word of it. And she knows when I say something, I mean it. So she got busy getting them A's, them grades up, them A's and B's. And then after that, didn't have no more problems out of her until she was probably about 15. And then she wanted to clown again. And that's when I had to take her down to East 14th Street and show her all the prostitutes and stuff. I said, this is what happens when little girls and boys don't go to school. See them girls walking around here like that? They dropped out of school. They didn't do what they're supposed to do. And they don't have any nice clothes. They don't have a nice house. They don't have anything nice in there. They're living hand and foot on the street, dealing with nasty men just to make money and eat. She was hoarse. She started crying. Oh, I don't want that life. I said, then you're going to keep your ass in school like I told you. We're not going to have this conversation again. Do you understand me? She was she was straight. So 2 times I had to really drop the hammer on her. And that was, she been pretty cool. She does what she's supposed to do. But I'm not going to negotiate with no kid. I'm not going to bribe you. I'm not going to negotiate a bargain. We're not doing nothing like that. You're going to do what I told you to do because I'm the fucking parent and you're the kid. Understand? You say in your envelope and do what you're supposed to do. Now, when you become 18 and you want to leave, then bye. But hopefully all the work I put into, you're prepared to handle it, everything, and it'll be a deuce out moment and you go ahead and do your thing. Yeah, there's videos on this parents. Yeah, that's some scary shit. There's videos on parenting on this channel about parents that overindulge their children and helicopter them, and I have it's a bunch of them. But basically, I'm reaming these parents because you're raising a bunch of useless little fucks for kids that are entitled and just little jerks, and they don't want to do nothing. They just think everything's supposed to drop in their lap, and that they should graduate from high school making like $150,000 a year or something. I don't know what they be thinking. The parents are doing that to them. So let's move on. Question number 6 is female 22 to 27 from Plano, Texas. The male's 35 to 42. Wow, that's a big age difference. Summary issue. My partner won't stop lying and hiding things from me. And yet, you stay. Just so you know, yes, we have talked, fought, cried, and poured our hearts out to each other over this and many other things. We both have the same mentality of fixing it before giving up. How long are you supposed to do that? Should be like W.C. Fields. If at first you don't succeed, try again, then give up. No sense being a damn fool about it. See, you on the fool track right now. I'm having a really hard time because of all the fixing hasn't been on my behalf, but on his. Every time we have a major fight, it's because of his actions crossing a boundary or lying or hiding something minuscule or big from me. The first few times we worked through it, but each time I was growing increasingly upset and intolerant, and I very much vocalized that to him. He said he wanted to work for us and try harder to preserve our relationship. But each time he does it, he still jeopardizes our relationship as if I haven't cried real tears to him, begging him to stop, or else I cannot continue our relationship. It's like he knows it's wrong, but he does it anyway, right? Because he's waiting for you to buck up and do what you said you was gonna do was get rid of the relationship. You think that you're girl, he's not gonna show no respect for you because you're too stupid. You act desperate and weak. No man's gonna respect a woman who acts like that. If you say you're gonna do something, you have to follow through. You're not following through, you're just running your mouth some more. I wonder how long y'all been together. Let me see if she says it in here somewhere. It's like, okay, it's not cheating or popcorn. It's something else I said was uncomfortable with for personal reasons. He tells me every time he gets caught, and yes, I mean caught because he will lie to me with a straight face until I catch him, that he is afraid to anger or upset me. I explained to him that I'd rather be told the truth and help him work through it than to find out or catch him. He seems remorseful every time, but I'm slowly falling out of love with him. Almost 100% out of love with him. I just simply don't know how else to explain or comfort or support him to let him know he is free to speak to me without consequences, yet he still chooses to lie. I am at a loss of ideas and words. I don't cry anymore to him. I'm just pissed and disappointed that he would rather lie and put our relationship on the line than be upfront with me and hurt my feelings with the truth. We have tossed up therapy and he would be open to it, but I don't know if it would help when it's been a year and a half of our relationship that he has lied since around the first month over stupid stuff. Okay, so you knew a month in that you was dealing with a manipulative liar and then you just stayed in the situation. And here it is a year and a half later, and you complaining about it like it's something new. Woo! Lord have mercy. I had given him an ultimatum recently, and today he broke it when he butt dialed me and was talking to his friend. I heard a lot of things I was not okay with, and now I'm unsure what to do. And when I suggest I'm unsure if he's telling the truth, he gets angry or upset. Any advice? I love him more than any person I've ever loved. I'm having a hard time calling it quits, even though I know that may be the fate of our relationship, since it feels like he has no regard or respect for me with the continuous lying. Well, it's about time you get a damn clue. I mean, how many times you want somebody to slap you upside the head before you realize, hey, this kind of hurts? They're slapping the hell out of me over and over and over again, and yet I'm still standing here to take more blows. That's essentially what you're doing. Then you gave him an ultimatum, and then he promptly breaks it. And so you don't understand that this man wants you to break up with him. He wants you to do it. He wants you to have enough respect for yourself and enough spine that you walk away with dignity. But see, you're groveling and you're acting like he's the last man. Exactly. She's acting like he butt down. No, he did that on purpose because he don't want to be the one to break up with you because he don't want to deal with your emotional outbursts. Because you the kind that would sit there, call him, and probably stalk him and just act a fool. He don't want to do all that. He wants you to be the one to break up with him, and then he can go on his merry way and do what he want to do, which is what he's been doing anyway all along. Ooh, girl, get you some self-esteem from somewhere, please. Question number 7. This is a female in the 22 to 27. Wait a minute. Don't I have some wine? Yes. Hold on a second. I do. I had some Pinot. This is not a wine cup. This is a coffee mug, but this is my cup. I use this for everything. In the morning, I use it for coffee. During the day, I drink lemonade or whatever out of it. And then at night, I drink wine out the same cup. Just rinse it out and keep using it. This is good, Pino. Okay. So question number 7, female 22 to 27 from Tampa. Summer issue. It seems like when you give a man a lot of attention, he likes you. Yes, that is very true. That is very true. Why does it seem like when you give men a lot of attention, they don't like you as much? But if you leave them alone, then they keep contacting you. I'm not trying to get a man to chase me. I treat men how they treat me. But it seems that when you really like a man and you text him or call a lot, he doesn't like that. And when you don't really like a man and you don't contact him as much, that's when they start contacting you like crazy. Why do you think this happened? Because haven't you ever heard that men like to chase? Now, this doesn't mean they're going to chase you and that you don't want to them. What it means is they like to be in a position where they're being the initiator. Not all the time, but most of the time. They want to be the one to ask you out. They want to be the one to ask you propose. They want to be the one to ask you to move in. They want to be the one to ask you on a date. They want to be the one to ask you for your number. That's what men do. And part of that is the ego dynamic that they get from having acquired a goal, having a set a goal for themselves and then meeting that goal. It's like, oh, I want to get her number. And then he gets it. He feels proud of himself. Right? It's like, she's the one, mom, this is the one, I really want to propose to her. And then he goes through all the things. He goes and gets a ring. He does the whole thing. Like, this is a big deal amongst young men. So then he gets on his little one knee and he does a little proposal and stuff. When women do that, they take all of that away from the guy. It just, and you can't undo it. So there's certain things that, men want to do. They want to feel like when they miss their baby, they're going to pick up the phone and call her. When they think about her, they're going to send her a text. But if you blowing up his phone all the time, he never gets a chance to miss your silly ass. Then yeah, he's not gonna contact you. He doesn't need to because you're doing all the work. So this is this important lesson for you to learn. But the 22 to 27, even if you do like a guy, you should still not contact him a lot. There's really no need for that because when they like you enough, they gonna be all up in your face anyway. The fact that you be texting a dude and chasing him down and stuff shows that those dudes didn't really like you that much. And you was doing too much. When they really like you, they just be knee deep in your Kool-Aid. You just be looking for them to go somewhere and do something with themselves so you can have a moment's peace. So you're not understanding the importance. I mean, you're understanding behavior, but you don't understand what the behavior means. And so that's what I'm trying to explain to you. Dang, Sliver. Chatbot vibes. That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder why I even have a phone because I don't be using. But actually, I have 3 phones. And don't be using none of them. But I have to have 3 phones that have different things going on, and different people have different numbers. You know how that is. Or maybe y'all don't know how that is, but I know how that is. And say if I didn't get my number, and that's just the way it is. You're gonna get number B, and if you're in the C class, you're gonna get number C. And there you go. So it depends on where you are on the pecking order, which number you're going to get. And that's just how I roll. Been doing that for years. Question number 8. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from Bethesda, Maryland. Female 22 to 27. Summer of issue. My girlfriend of 4 years decided to have a termination. Last night, okay. These kind of letters, people get really upset at me because of my position on this. Like I lost a bunch of channel subscribers because I said that this girl a couple of weeks ago should get an abortion. Oh, they did not like it. They went crazy. And they had to tell me what. I'm unsubscribing because you said this. And I'm like, fuck you very much. Was your silly ass going to go over there and get the baby from her and raise it yourself? Hell no. You just want to bitch and moan at somebody and try to tell somebody what they should do with their body, their time, and their money and their life. That's what you want to do. All you pro-lifers get on my goddamn nerves. Don't ever do shit. Just want to talk shit to people and try to guilt trip them. So I said all that right. Oh, they was hot. So yeah, it lost about 40 subscribers over a couple of weeks period after they heard me say that. But guess what? I'm getting ready to say it again. So those of you who don't like it, just press that unsubscribe button and just make the magic happen. Because I don't care. I care about the kids And the kids are not political collateral for you to gameplay and position yourself with. These are real lives that are going to be impacted here by being having been born to parents that don't give a shit about them, don't have no money, and don't have no sense. You just want the kid to be just to suffer. I don't. So that's our difference in position. What's up, Timia? So let's see what he got to say. Last night, my 25-year-old girlfriend and I'm 29, had a long talk about our situation and what we should do. We previously had conversations about having children, and it seemed to be something that we both wanted, just later. I do feel we're in a much better place in life than we were when we first discussed it last, though. We've never been the type to argue, and financially, we are doing great. So she's 25 and you 29. Okay. I expressed, as I've done in the past, I am very much against abortion, but I do feel ultimately that it's her choice and she's the one who would bear the child. At the end of our conversation, she decided to terminate the pregnancy, and I reluctantly agreed to support her in that decision. However, I've been thinking about it all day now, and I'm just filled with so many different emotions. I'm not sure what I should do. I don't want to make her feel guilty about her decision or resent her down the line, but I feel like I lost something. What steps should I take? You should have, if you really wanted a baby and you want to be somebody's daddy, motherfucker, at 29, you should have went down to Jared's Jewelers, got you an engagement ring, and proposed. But that never crossed your mind. You just want her to take all the responsibility for your raggedy ass kid. She's only 25 years old. What in the fuck is she gonna do with a damn baby? Especially you sitting over there not even stepping up to do anything, to any kind of real solid commitment to her. That was your opportunity to say, you know what, it's a little sooner than we had planned, but you know one thing, I don't want to have my kid be born illegitimate. So we're gonna get married and we're gonna have this kid and we're gonna raise it together. We've been together all this time, so we already talked about this. So let's just accelerate the date of it happening and make this happen. What you think? That's what you're supposed to say. What you don't get to do is sit up here and write me and trying to say you're going to feel guilty or resentful of a single woman not want to be a baby mama for your fucking ass. That's what you don't get to do. So you think you was going to get some sympathy from me? Oh, no. And if I was her mother or big sister or something, even her younger sister, I would went over there and cussed your fucking ass out. You don't get to have any opinion. You don't get to have any feelings about it. You don't have to have no say so because you didn't step the fuck up like you were supposed to protect your woman and your child. You just want somebody to be a damn baby mama. Fuck you. Nobody trying to do that. A lot of these young girls, that's not the lifestyle that they want. Some don't mind. Okay, but this one has better sense, and she's not trying to ruin her life like that and set herself up to be suffering and broke and struggling. She's not trying to do that. The one who had the power here to make this not happen and to change the trajectory of all three individuals' lives was you. And you did not step the fuck up. So I don't want to hear shit you got to say. He's just a fucking loser. Let me take another swig of my wine. I got to heat it. Yeah, he want everything on his terms. He want to stay single, but he want her to have a baby for her to be somebody's mama and fuck her life and her options up. She luckily is not stupid. So many of these young girls would just go and say, oh, I'm having a baby for him. No, you're a dummy. You should hop up on the nearest abortion table. Means be ruining your body and setting yourself up for all kind of drama behind some clown and his raggedy ass baby. Fuck these niggas. White boys, whatever the fuck he is, he didn't say what race he was. Sometimes they do, sometimes this one didn't. He's in Bethesda, Maryland. Oh, but whatever ethnicity he is, fuck him anyway. Because you just trying to set her up, and you not involving any kind of obligation upon yourself. You want her to assume all responsibility, or you just sit up there and crow about, well, I'm against it. You don't get to be against it. No man gets to be against abortion. You don't have a womb, and you ain't gonna be nobody's baby mama. So shut up. You don't get to have an opinion as far as I'm concerned. Yes, we is, girl. I've been like stir crazy because I've been limping around here with my burnt up foot. So I finally I feel good enough to sit here and talk now. So I'm going crazy. Question number 9. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Third issue, how do I stop feeling like I owe these men I work with anything? You slap yourself and snap out of it because you're in a fugue state. That's obvious. I'm 23 and I struggle with boundaries. I hate being in awkward situations and I want to feel more comfortable saying no, especially in my workplace. It feels like I owe somebody something, whether it's a hug I don't want, a conversation I don't want to have, or being overly friendly. For example, I work with someone who I've known previously from school. He always goes in for a hug. I don't feel comfortable saying no, but I want him to know I'm uncomfortable. I'm just tired of coming to work and feel like I must cater to some people due to history or obligation to be kind. What can I do more to become more protective of myself? At work and outside of work, I generally hate how I feel right now, and I just don't want to be involved with any guy right now. At your job, it's very clear. I mean, it's very simple. All you do is tell him, I want you to stop hugging me. This is a workplace. This is a professional workplace, and we don't have that kind of relationship where you need to be hugged up on me. And he'll be like, oh, well, you know, you let me do it before. And you're going to say, yeah, that was a mistake, and I just wanted to stop effective today. Okay. Otherwise, you can go to your supervisor and say, you know, this guy, I knew him from before, and but he keeps wanting to hug me, and I don't really feel comfortable knowing how to say no. Can you just tell him to stop hugging me, please? And then the supervisor will do that. I don't understand why you young girls don't go to your managers about stuff. You don't go to HR. You don't do nothing. You just sit there and fret about it and worry about it. You don't open your goddamn mouth and say shit. It drives me crazy. Then you say, you know, you hate being in awkward situations and you want to learn how to say no. Um, you have to know is the kind of thing. It's like an exercise. You have to practice it. So you have to practice saying no. You just get in the mirror and say no. Record yourself on your phone saying no. Well, I mean, she hasn't. But see, the thing about sexual harassment is this. This is the fine point that people forget. You, as the victim, have to have said, I mean, unless it's like, you know, a straight up SA or something, you know, super egregious and criminal. But if it's, you know, a lesser crime, lesser thing, quote, harassment, you have to have said in a written form, verbal form, some witnesses, something that you don't like the behavior. Otherwise, when they come and they say, well, you know, she seemed to be into it, you haven't said anything to controvert that, they're going to roll with that. Because the fact that you agree, you know, you didn't say no, you didn't say stop, you didn't say I don't like it, you didn't say don't do that to me again. That gives the impression that communicates by your silence that you're okay with it. And so that's why a lot of women that fire sexual harassment suits and it gets shot down because they never said stop. They never said no. They never said don't do that to me. They never went to HR. They never sent an email saying I don't want you touching me. They never did anything. So then you want to file a claim, and the first thing they ask you is, well, when did you tell this person that their behavior was undesired, unwanted? Because that's the key phrase in sexual harassment law, that the touches and the actions, the jokes, whatever, were undesired, unwanted. Okay, if you can't prove that it was unwanted, they're gonna win. And this kind of behavior here, where you don't say shit, women, you don't speak up, then you know you set yourself up this way. So this struggling with boundaries, I don't really, you know, that speaks to me of some kind of trauma that people have had in their past. I just did a workshop this week on it. And so I'm like, I'm all trauma informed now. But you know, I always did think that, but hearing these, you know, these speakers talk about the different things that happen to people and how it impacts them mentally and emotionally in their formative years and even after was very eye-opening. And everybody has a different response to. Like some people, two people, three people rather, could experience the same situation, and they're going to have three different responses to the trauma. But they all have a trauma response. But someone might get like overly aggressive. One might be at the deer in headlights thing and just fold, and the other one's just not going to do nothing like her and just be like a victim over and over and over and over again. Just let people do whatever they want to them. So you know, it's just interesting. And I thought, I wonder if I suffered trauma because I'm just like, I want to just cuss people out and beat them up and just do all kind of stuff. But I can't imagine going through my life and not saying no to people. It's like my favorite word to say to men is no. Not only no, but hell no, and fuck the fuck I look like no, and stuff like that. You know, conjugations. Yeah, I don't. So anyway, look in the chat. They're giving you some supportive instructions and guidance here about how to find your voice. But in your jobs, especially young women fresh out of college, I swear I wish these colleges would have you come in and do some workshops with these girls about real world protecting yourself on these jobs, because they get out of school and they don't know anything, and they go on these jobs and here's these older dudes in their 30s and 40s that just looking for them to come in there and prey on them, and the girls are just so brand new they don't even know what's happening. They don't know their rights, don't know anything. I would be happy to do that. Oh boy, because I just like to cuss people out just on the GP. So to actually get paid to do it, oh my God, that's my ideal job. I have to open up a cuss the motherfucker out.com service. Question number 10. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from Durham, North Carolina. Third issue: how to respond when a girl says, "I don't think there's a strong connection here." I've been chatting with this girl I came across on a dating app, and I really thought we would be a great match. Especially, I really liked her and the things that we have in common. She has been slow in replying from the beginning, and our conversation moved to WhatsApp, and she's postponed the meeting twice. The next time I couldn't make it to the cafe where she was waiting, as I had a small fender bender car accident, and she said we could catch up another time. We texted a bit, and I asked her to talk over the phone, and she said maybe we'll meet in a week or two. But a week later, she texted me saying, "I don't think there's a strong connection here." I really felt hurt for not having a chance to meet her at least once, as I felt rarely come across someone like her and whom I really like. I want to respond to her last message and throw in one last attempt to meet her with this. Quote, "If you are open to it, I'd really love the chance to meet you in person. Let me know what you think. If not, feel free to ping me if you change your mind. And in any case, I wish you all the very best moving forward." Would this be okay? Or do you have any other suggestions? My suggestion is, motherfucker, don't you understand that she just dumped you? Why are you going to still send her talking what you want to meet? It's like you didn't hear what she said? It did not compute. You need a shit in sign language or something? What the hell is going on with you? She said there's not a strong connection here. You know what that means? Don't contact me anymore. We're not going to go out. That's what that means. You know that's what it means. But you want to still persist in talking about if you're still open to it. I love the chance. It's like you're totally ignoring the fact that she said that she doesn't feel a strong connection. You're being a jerk. Okay? You're not listening to her no. You're not listening to her stop. And you're not listening to her, I don't want to do this. What you're doing is being very disrespectful. All you're doing is thinking about yourself. Okay? This is a way for you to get cussed smooth the fuck out. You do this shit to the wrong woman like me, say, motherfucker, what part of I don't want to deal with your ass did you not understand? And see, it's going to go downhill from there, because then you're going to become every kind of stupid so-and-sos and dumb blankety blanks, and your mama's stupid for having you. And I mean, it's going to be just all bad. You're going to wish you had not reached out to me. So I'm suggesting, since we don't know if her personality is like mine or not, that you cease and desist, accept the fact that she don't want to be bothered with your ass, and move on to the next one. Okay? That's what you do. That's my suggestion. You're too old for this. Acting like she's the only coochie in the world. I don't think I have enough wine. Cup is looking kind of low. Yeah, these dudes. I don't know. Customers ask for hugs. Thanks, Tien. Yes, I think that has something to, like I said, that's some kind of trauma. Can you imagine being denied to be who you are and what you want to be? And telling you can't do it. Customers asking for hugs. Oh, hell to the no. I'm back up. I don't hug people that I'm not in a relationship with or that I'm not related to. You ain't in either one of them categories, so back the fuck up. Ask people your schedule. Your other employees should be all on alert for the manager not to give out that information, because that could also set you up for stalking. So please go to your manager and suggest that be the mandate that all employees adhere to, and say, we aren't allowed to give out other staff schedules like that. That's all they have to say. Thanks, Hong Kong. What a name. As soon as I said, I was like, wait a minute, Hong Kong. like a goose, whatever it is. Okay, let's move on to question number 11. Why do I have so many letters? Those of you who came late don't know this was the column that I was going to do the night of Thanksgiving, the night before Thanksgiving, rather, when I dropped that hot pie on my foot and burnt my foot all to hell. But so, of course, no show there. And then, so it's a lot of questions, because I was going to make it a longer show. So it's 36 questions. I don't think I'll be able to do 36 tonight. I'll give it my good shot, though. Let's go to question number 11. This is a male, 35 to 42, from Stockton. The female rather, is also 35 to 42. Summary of issue. Am I in the wrong? I'm seeking advice on how to navigate some relationship challenges. My girlfriend is a year older, 35, and has been diagnosed with oppositional defiant disorder. What the hell is that? Which makes her cold and unreceptive to affection and reluctant to admit when she's wrong. Oh, that's just, you calling it like a disease. That's just a bitch. That's what when they get started labeling stuff with all these different kind of fancy names and stuff. This is weird. While we've managed this to some degree by talking and working through her way of thinking, it often leaves me feeling unappreciated and neglected. And yet you stay. You ain't going nowhere. The specific issue I need advice on involves her best friend. I don't necessarily dislike her friend, but we just don't click. She's a bit rough around the edges, often subtly rude to me, and spends most of her time smoking weed or cigarettes. A little while ago, my girlfriend and I had a heated argument about the lack of affection I receive in our relationship. During that argument, her best friend was brought into the conversation, which I wasn't comfortable with. I value privacy and feel that issues in our relationship to stay between us until they're resolved. Tonight, she asked me directly if I had a problem with her. I was honest and explained how I feel. We don't have much common ground. I'm not a fan of her values or viewpoints, and since I don't smoke, I don't see a reason to hang out with her. However, I made it clear that I have no issue with my girlfriend being friends with her, spending time with her, or inviting her over. She's coming over tonight. I also assured her that I would never be rude to her in any way. Despite this, my girlfriend is now upset with me for expressing that I don't want to spend time with her friend. Am I in the wrong here? I'd appreciate any advice or insights on how to handle this. I love my girlfriend deeply and want to grow with her, but I'm struggling to navigate situations like this. Candace, if you choose my letter but have questions, just let me know if you need more context or details. Oh, that was nice for him to offer. Let's go back to this hot mess that you have here. Sir, your girlfriend is a broom riding witch, and you wasting your time with somebody 35 to 42 with oppositional defiant disorder. She's cold and unreceptive to affection, and reluctant to admit when she's wrong. Please explain to me how you can grow a relationship with somebody like that. Obviously, you live together. It's for people who don't like to follow rules. Oh, is it? Well, that's interesting. Thank you for sharing that, because I just have never heard of no stuff like that. See, to me, it's just what my grandparents used to call badass kids, that fit that description. But now they have a title for it, so that makes sense. But anyway, whatever it is, you're not going to get what you want in a relationship from this chick. So why are you there, right? She's cold, she don't want no affection, and she's always right. Then she got a raggedy friend that, is rude to you, disrespects you, and your girlfriend lets her do it. And then she spends most of her time smoking the herbalicious or cigarettes. Does she do it in your house where you live? And you have to smell all that. And you argue about, you don't receive any affection in a relationship, and yet you stay in a relationship. I don't understand what you're doing here. Why do you stay in a relationship with a woman who treats you like this? And you say, oh, you love her and all this other stuff, but what's wrong with you loving yourself? Why can't you go and find a woman to give that love to who's going to love you back? I'm really not understanding what your goal is here. Most likely it sounds like what you want her to do is change. She's not going to change. This is who it is. Like I keep telling you guys, what you see is what you get. The way they come in the door is the way they're going to be when you leave. Okay? If you don't like it when you first meet them and it's all these problems and stuff, that's just not going to change. It's going to stay that way. Sometimes usually it gets worse because they get more comfortable. And so the little guards and protections and politenesses things that they were doing to kind of mask some of that shit. They don't do it. I don't know. She must be she must be tearing him up in the sheets. That's what's going on. He's delirious. Ugh. Yeah, she don't respect me, but she has me sucking my thumb and curled into a fetal position after the romp on the mattress. That's what his deal is. I already know that, but sometimes we just have to say these things. No, he didn't say anything. Well, unless you're talking to somebody else. He didn't say anything about riding around him. He didn't even mention a car. So, question number 12. This is a male in a 22 to 27 age group from Wichita, Kansas. Female, also 22 to 27. Summary of issue. My girlfriend decided to become clean and sober and wants me to join her on her sobriety journey, but I don't want to. She's 23 and I'm 26, and we've been dating for almost 2 years. We used to drink and smoke together all the time, but a couple of months ago, she decided to quit altogether. She feels it has become a toxic habit in her life and that she needs to stop. I support her decision because it's her life and that's fine. I, for one, as of late, have been sober, but I will partake in social settings and such. She confronted me with how she wants her life partner to be sober and how she doesn't want alcohol or the herbalicious in the house. I told her I understand, but I am conflicted. I don't feel like I have a problem with either one, and I enjoy them both. I like to eat an edible before I play video games or enjoy a beer or two while barbecuing for the family. I like things in moderation, but I feel like the choice to quit everything is being forced upon me. I've asked if I can just keep my things separate from her, like in my office and gaming room, but she doesn't like that idea either. I don't get drunk or high around her when we hang out, but she wants me to practice sobriety everywhere. Are there any compromises we could agree on to move forward into the relationship and without compromising my integrity? Yes, it's called breaking up. You have reached an impasse, sir. This is like you saying, well, I wanna still be with her and I'm gonna be a little bit pregnant. No, you either all the way pregnant or you just not pregnant at all. And the same thing here, you're gonna be all the way on the sobriety train, or you're not gonna be on it at all. And right now you don't want to be on it, and she wants you, she's trying to force it on you. So what you need to do is pack your stuff and get out. Right. It's just like when women find Jesus, they're in a relationship with a man and suddenly they want to go to church every day and become a Bible thumper, holy roller, and every other word out of their mouth is, praise Jesus. No, she's trying to change him. In this case, she's the one who went clean and sober, and she's trying to force him into change, and he doesn't want to change. So in this case, dude, you just gonna have to tell her, it just looks like we're not really compatible anymore. Our life is going in two different trajectories. So I'm gonna deuce the fuck out, and you just go on over there and be clean and sober as much as you want to, and I wish you well. That's what's gonna happen here. And you, I think, know that, but you just trying to act like you don't, so you acting all brand new. But yeah, she's trying to change him. Stuff that he been doing. Now she's suddenly because she changed, she want him to change. I think she needs to leave him. He needs to leave her rather. Because she the one that want him to he's the one pressuring him to change. He's not pressuring her. She's pressuring him. So he needs to tell her, no, I'm not gonna be doing all of that. I'm out. That's right, Kong Kong. You put them feet in motion, put them hush puppies on and get to stepping. Do they still make hush puppies anymore? I haven't seen any. We used to have those shoes when I was a kid. Let's move on. Question number 13. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from Toledo, Ohio. The male's 35 to 42. So an issue. I am considering leaving my boyfriend of 4 years who hasn't worked the entire time. Wow. How do I handle this compassionately? Compassionately. I'm 30 and in a 4-year relationship with my boyfriend who's 40. And he hasn't had a job the entire time that we've been together. I work full time, I go to school full time, and pay for a lot of our things, including almost all of our meals. This wouldn't be an issue for me if I was making bank, but I'm not. We started off casual, but he asked me to be exclusive after a couple of months. At the time, he had been laid off due to COVID and was living off of his savings, which seemed understandable, so I never questioned it. At the time, I wasn't in school and was working part-time, and everything was just fun and games. But after a year, his savings ran out, and he had to move in with his mom. Also live with my parents because my student loans and car payments are too high for me to afford to move out. He promised to find a job, but then serious health issues came up and he hasn't worked since. His health has improved, but he still makes excuses about job hunting and gets defensive when I bring it up. I feel like his self-confidence is taking a hit, but I'm also feeling resentful and drained from all the financial and emotional stress. So you sitting up here taking care of a grown man 10 years older than you. And I'm wondering where they do that at. Okay. I tried breaking up with him twice, but he had mental breakdowns and convinced me to stay. So you fell for that game. That's what happened. Our Nook Nook life is almost non-existent, and I am no longer attracted to him. Well, you shouldn't want to struggle. You shouldn't want to sleep with somebody who's a dusty bum. I'm honestly okay with not having Nook Nook, but he's the one suffering and keeps bringing it up, which leads to arguments. Tell him that you only get excited over men who have a paycheck. Soon as he has a paycheck, then it'll be on like Donkey Kong. That's what you tell him. Then tell him, leg lock. Sorry. That's the way it is. You ain't going to get shit here because you're broke. And I just don't get excited over broke men. That's what I would tell him. And he would sit there with his Pikachu face like, I can't believe you said that to me. Yeah, well, I can't believe that you haven't worked in 4 years. So I guess there's two of us that don't believe a whole bunch of shit that's happening. She says, every time it comes up, I feel like absolute shit because it's something his doctors have told him would help his chronic issue actually. You believe that? He insists things will get better once we have our own place, but I'm tired of waiting and unsure if that will really change anything. Yeah, you'll be paying all the rent. Whereas right now you're only living at your parents' house, so you got things a little better. He doesn't really have any good friends or emotional support, and has told me in the past I'm the only good thing in his life. I'm feeling stuck between wanting to put myself first and the guilt of leaving him when he's struggling. How can I navigate this situation compassionately without causing more pain? Why do you care? You're in pain, right? Better thee than me is my motto ever since I first discovered Shakespeare when in the 6th grade. Better thee than me. I just made that shit up. But still, it does apply. It's better him to have hurt feelings and for him to feel distressed and for him to be broke by himself than it is for you, right? So, see, for me, once his savings ran out and he didn't have no money and he was looking for me to start paying for dates and stuff, we would have broke up then. I'm like, oh, hell no. You ain't pimping me. What I look like? Taking care of a grown ass man. Fuck out of here. Yeah, she's too worried about, his defensiveness and his being sensitive and the imbalances and stuff. It's like, psh, yeah. See, they trying to tell you the game right here. I hope you listen. Question number 14. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Sorry, issue. Will begging make a man take you back? Wow. I've had a situationship with a man that I'm in love with. Of course, I want a relationship, but I'm taking what I'm getting. Pathetic, I know. He dumped me for good this time. He has dumped me before, saying that we will never meet again. I haven't done anything wrong, but he is not feeling it anymore. And I think he felt that I was too needy for just being in a situationship and not a girlfriend. I don't want to beg him to take me back, but I do want him back so much. If I could beg, would it help? Or would it just push him away further? What I wish to both for is just to be able to move on, but I feel like an addict that needs my fix. And get yourself some methadone. I don't know what the hell what do you want from me? First of all, begging a man is counterproductive to every cell in my body. I don't ask men for shit. I don't want shit from them. And it's, I just don't. I'm not going to ever lower my queenly dignity to beg a man to care about me or love me. And that's what you're proposing here. Please explain to me how you think you acting like that is going to make him respect you and want to be with you. It's going to make him think that you're a stupid, desperate, just garden tool. No man wants to have a woman like that unless he's just looking to use her. So is that what you want? Because when he wouldn't be loving or respecting you, he'd just be taking whatever it is that you've given him in your desperation. It's not going to, you were in a situationship. You want a relationship, but he dumped you because you wanted too much from him and he was putting up his strong boundaries. And now you want to beg him. The answer to your question is going to be no. And what's going to happen is he's going to hurt your feelings because he can. Because he told you no, he don't want to do this anymore. And you're going to try to come back and beg him and stuff. And then he's going to be open season on your feelings. He's going to be calling you all kind of names, dumb, desperate, the B word. I mean, everything. And you know what? You would have been put yourself in that position and would be looking to, you know, I'm trying to tell you, but it's, people do, new people come or they just come, they only went to one show, right? And I say, oh, sign up for as a matter of fact, let me put that up there now, right? So people can, if you want to put well, I don't know if it's Wednesday anymore, just what the fuck, whenever. You want to submit your questions so you can be considered, then just follow these instructions that are flying across the bottom of the screen. And that's how you do it. There's a form there at that URL, and you just fill out the form and press submit. Candace will review your letter and see if it makes sense for us to put it in the column. And if so, she will. I think she sends people an email to tell them that when it's going to be in, but don't quote me on that. So that's it right there. Debsterism.com. It's also on the bottom of the screen there, but it's debsterism.com. Get-advice is the URL. Okay. So let me go back to this. So yeah, you're going to set yourself up to be cussed out and clowned if you do that. Please don't do that. Leave the man alone like you have some sense. Okay. Question number 15. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Third issue. Date asks for nook on the second date to check sexual compatibility. Oh, there's a new one. I just want some input. I wonder if it's okay for a new date to ask for nook for the second date. And he openly say that it is a tryout to see sexual compatibility to decide to proceed or not into a relationship. He had been in a sexless marriage and some relationships after. For me, I found this proposal strange coming from a seemingly decent guy who professes that he's looking for a serious relationship. Yeah, well, he said that, and then, but his behavior is not matching that now, is it? But I tell you all about men and what they say versus what they do. I done told you this. We are both physically attracted. For me, I had a couple of boyfriends who didn't satisfy me that way, and I broke up. Hence, I kind of understand his proposal. It is out front and honest, though some friends think it's ridiculous. What do you think? I think that it's game, and it's a way for him to get the panties with no conviction, no commitment, no real relationship. The second date, that's the second time he's laid eyes on you, most likely. And so you're going to go bare and just let him hop up around on you and do whatever to your body like that? That's not an approach I would recommend. I would slow him down and say, well, we don't even know if we're compatible outside the sheets yet. You kind of putting the cart before the horse is home, skillet. So no, we're not going to do that. We're going to worry about if I can stand your ass enough to want to sleep with you. Let's do that. If that's not the way you want to do things, then there's no point in us meeting again. That's what you're supposed to tell him. Why would a woman want to sleep with a man who's a complete stranger? You don't have no idea if he got any kind of skills or not. Most of them don't. Men these days, you know how they learn how to screw? From watching those adult films, which are not realistic. They're not sensual. They're not anything. Those are all paid actors. So they're going to make some shit, some painful shit, look like it's the most bombastic thing ever. And then dumb dudes are going to take that and run with it and think that's what you're supposed to do to real women. Like this choking shit. They like to choke people because they see that in the movies. You choke me, I'm going to stab your fucking ass. That's what's going to happen to you. You're going to be bleeding. Put your hands on my throat, motherfucker. You lost your goddamn mind. Seeing some shit like that and you want to do it? Yeah, it ruins relationships. And they don't know how to fuck. I mean, they have no sensuality, no bedroom skills, no love-making skills. All they know is the freak shit they see in those movies, and they're going to try to do that to real women. You can tell because of the way they talk. Like, I'm going to beat it up. I'm going to, this and that. I mean, they make it sound so violent. And that's not how you treat a woman's body. And so that's how they think. So to me, a woman who would sleep with a complete stranger is a fool. It's like you don't know what you're getting as far as diseases and mentality. Is he gonna be a stalker, some kind of weird killer, Edmund Kimber type killer person or something? I mean, you don't know what you're getting. You haven't spent any time with this person. You don't even know the man's middle name yet, and you don't know nothing about him. You ain't had time to investigate what's true and what's a lie. That he told you don't know anything, but you're making yourself vulnerable to the position where your body is open. You can catch all kind of health things that'll take you up out of here. He might be a weirdo. He might, you take you to some place. Next thing you know, 4 or 5 of his friends is in there. You in there by yourself. It's too much risk for that. It's just nobody can need no dick that bad. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, they do, but that's what they're saying. They think that Anna, that's not how it's done. That's not how it's done. And that's what I keep seeing. The girls write in, so many letters about these guys being so violent and actually hurting them and doing things that the girls did not tell them that they don't want to do, and the dudes want to do it anyway. Cause and then claim that the women are square. It's like, no, you've been watching too many of them stupid ass movies, fool, and you don't even know what the fuck you're doing in bed, and then here you come trying to reenact a film. It's just stupid. Well, they're realistic, but they're paid actors. I mean, what part of that do the men not get? Those women are getting $10,000 or $20,000 to do all this fake hair flinging and moaning and acting like it's the best dick in the world. Okay, they're paid. They're getting money for that. That doesn't mean what you're saying is real. Please believe. But the men are stupid and they don't realize it. Yeah. And then after that, then they become impotent. They can't do it. I mean, they'd be 30 and needing Viagra and all this kind of shit. It's like, it's just not boding well. So young women who think, well, I want to get my freak on and do this, then you stupid. You're gonna end up in somebody's graveyard messing around with these fools. Get you a toy and call it a day. Okay, like I said, nobody need no dick that bad. So anyway, yeah, so we talked about that. So yeah, girl, just tell him that you don't even know if you like him yet. And so that's not anything that y'all need to worry about right yet. He's putting the cart before the horse. Question number 16. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Raleigh, North Carolina. The male's 28 to 34. Summary of issue. My boyfriend doesn't want to come to my uncle's funeral. What is typical funeral etiquette when dating? I wouldn't want to go to your uncle's fucking funeral either. What the? Then you're not married. What's wrong with you? Why would a beer boyfriend go to your family's funeral? You tripping. Let's see what other bullshit you talking. My boyfriend and I have been together for 3 years. A year into the relationship, I went with him to his grandfather's funeral. They were very close. Well, you didn't have to, but you chose to. So good. Recently, someone who I consider my uncle, though not by blood, okay, so he's not even really a relative, passed away. He said he doesn't want to go because he doesn't like funerals, and this should be, quote, family time. I told him I wanted him to go support me while I support my dad. The deceased was his best friend slash business partner of 30 years. A few months ago, his grandmother's brother died, and he didn't want me to go to the funeral because it was a family thing. I later explained that this was upsetting because I thought we were family. He apologized and said he never meant it that way, but here we are again. My uncle was much closer to my dad, but he was still a big part of my formative years. I would want to support him, but having someone support me would be nice too. What is funeral etiquette when you are dating? The etiquette is if you're not married, nobody's obligated to go with you and look at a bunch of crying, screaming people and a dead body. That is what the etiquette is. You over expecting and you put too much burden on him. You're not his wife. You're not his fiance. And this motherfucker that's died is not even related to you. It's your father's friend and business partner. So there's no reason in this world for this boy to go dragging himself to that funeral. The energy in funerals is negative. It's sorrowful. It's painful. People are upset. If you're not going to be one of the people that's upset, you have no business being there. I don't even like funerals myself, even when I know I need to go. Most of the time, I don't. Like my half sister died, I didn't go. Most people I know that day, I didn't go. My brother's like, well, you should go. I'm like, no, aren't you going? He's like, yeah. I said, you represent the whole family. I'm not going. I'm just not going to do it. I don't feel like it. You know, and people screaming and crying, and then you know, black folks at the funeral, they just got to be the most dramatic ever. Gonna run up down the little aisle and stuff, fling themselves onto the coffin. You know, daddy, and you know, whatever, you know, come on, and just putting on the show, got to fall all down on the floor, and then here come the little deacon people, you know, bringing them up and like they James Brown, putting the cape on them and shit to walk them up, down the thing, and they just it's like a whole theatrical performance. I can't stand that shit. I want to be in the thing laughing. But you know, that's so inappropriate. But I'm like, you know, you should be getting an Oscar for this performance that you're putting on. And I just, you know, go ahead. I've seen that so many times. And it's like, and so many black folks to do that too. They just got to make this whole big production running down the thing and just flying down there. Oh my God. It just wigs flying off, all kind of stuff be going on. I just want to laugh, but you know, it's so inappropriate. My mother told me if you laugh, I'm gonna kill you. So yep, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I just like, you didn't go to your brother? Yeah, just like, you know, my thing is like, I try to see people when they're still alive. Try to see them when they're still alive. And then, you know, say, well, you know, I know you're going to die soon at some point, and so am I. So let's just say our goodbyes now. But I don't plan to die for years. You know, you never know. Shit, let's just say what we got to say. Well, you know, I love you, girl. I know you do. Same here. You know, you say something, give them flowers and stuff while they're alive and enjoy the stuff. Don't wait until they're dead. I'm not doing all that. I'm not going. So anyway, to answer your question, your expectation is inappropriate. Go to the funeral if you want to go to support your daddy. Nobody's obligated to support you. It's not even your real uncle anyway. So you're just doing the most. Question number 17. This is a male in the 20 to 34 age group from Chula Vista, California. Summary of issue. I'm 30 and my girlfriend is 27 and we're hitting a wall. She wants her 10-year-old brother who is autistic to move in with us. Can we make this work? Hell to the no. Let him move in with her and you move out. 10-year-old anything. Not to mention an autistic kid. No. My girlfriend of 2 years and I have been looking at properties to finally start our life. Unfortunately, during these conversations, she mentioned that her parents aren't very healthy and wouldn't be ideal caretakers for her younger brother who's autistic. He's on the very deep end of the spectrum, so he is unable to clean, bathe himself, throws tantrums, and can't communicate. Some old ass people having babies. I mentioned putting him in a caregiver program, but she wasn't having it. My father told me I would end up resenting her and her brother if I go through with this, and I believe he's right. This is not what I'm equipped for. I hope I'm not being an asshole. So what if you are? People always act like it's so bad to be an asshole. Sometimes, you know, when you have boundaries and you stand up for yourself, in somebody's eyes, you're going to be an asshole. And the only reason they're going to tell you that is because they can't manipulate you to get what they want out of you. So they call you a name. You don't let that impact you. You don't care if somebody says that you're an asshole. You just say thank you because that means you're doing the right thing. Has anyone ever been in a similar scenario who is listening? I fully accepted that our relationship is doomed at this point, and it breaks my heart, and I know it'll break hers. Any input, whether blunt or not, is appreciated. Well, you heard mine. I agree with your daddy. This is not your kid. That's not your wife. That's not your situation. That's not your responsibility. So what you would be doing is signing yourself into a hot mess because of a girlfriend. You should remind her, well, we're not married, and thank God, because I'm going to deuce out on this shit, and you get your brother if you want to, make it that magic happen. You're going about your life, okay? Go find you somebody else. I keep looking at buttons. Buttons, no, button got any video of her aunties flinging themselves on the casket. I've seen the black folks do that shit so much at funerals. I'm like, what is this? Is this a script? So they kind of sit there and pick who gonna be the one flinging themselves on the casket this time, and they draw lots, figure out who's gonna do the and then who's gonna be the cape putter on her, and who's gonna be the ones carrying them on the side. It has because it's always the same scenario. Question number 18, male 18 to 21 from Orlando, Florida. Third issue, how to stop thinking about my girlfriend 24/7 and create a balance between relationship and personal goals. I'm 20 and she's 22, and we've been in a relationship for 4 months. From the very beginning, I've been deeply obsessed with her and think about her constantly, whether I'm doing something important, taking a shower, or engaged in any other activity. This obsession has become a major source of distraction, preventing me from giving my 100% to my work and studies. I'm currently in my third year of engineering and need to focus on developing my skills, but my thoughts about her consume most of my time. Wow. I also tend to overthink a lot in general. My mind is always occupied with thoughts and it never feels at rest rather. Because of this, when I expect her to do something and she doesn't, or we have a small argument or fight, I spiral into overthinking, which only adds to my distractions. I find myself constantly waiting for her messages almost 24/7. If I'm doing some work and she drops a text, I'll stop my work and start talking to her, and I cannot help it. I cannot stop myself after seeing her text, even if I have other more important work to do. How can I reduce this obsession and find a balance between my relationship and my personal goals? I truly love her, but this fixation is affecting my focus and productivity. What should I do to better manage my feelings and focus on other important aspects of my life? For context, this is the first relationship for both of us. We are in the same college and year, but currently in our respective hometowns because of the online semester. Sir, you don't sound like a good candidate for a relationship, but you just let it just overtake your life. A relationship is supposed to be a part of your life, not the whole thing. One thing you could do was while you're working, turn your phone off. Turn it off. You can't get no text. She won't be. You won't be distracted by her or anybody else. Turn your phone off. Then when you're done doing what you need to do, your obligations and responsibilities have been met. You can turn your phone back on. That would require discipline, which hopefully you have enough discipline to do that. Other than that, I don't really know what to tell you about finding a balance with an obsession because I've never had one. I can't be obsessed with anybody else because I'm too fixated on myself. It just I does not compute. So I'm having a hard time even understanding your thinking. But if this becomes to the point where it's interfering with your life, you might need to get you a little couch time to a professional to help you rebalance your energies and your thoughts and stuff. Okay, because that's really beyond, yeah, the scope of this little internet show to delve that deep into somebody's um, hyper attachment issues. I don't know what happened in your past that makes you want to be like this, but I can't really help you. So anyway, let's move on. We got question number 19. Oh, why did I say this? So many questions. 36 questions. Way too many. I'm tired just thinking about it. Okay, she's 22 to 27 from Lexington, Kentucky. So I have an issue. Why is everyone so obsessed with, quote, keeping it casual? I'm 26 and I've been dating for a while now, and it feels like literally every guy I meet is allergic to commitment. Like, is it just me? Or has, quote, keeping it casual become the default setting for modern dating? Don't get me wrong, if you're upfront about only wanting something casual, that's fine. But why is it that so many guys act like they're interested in something real, only to backpedal the moment things get remotely serious? For example, I met this guy on, I'm not going to say the name, but it's a swipey thing, a few months ago. We hit it off immediately, texted for hours, and went on a few amazing dates, and everything seemed great. He even said things like, I haven't felt this way about someone in a long time. Okay, and you believed him? But as soon as we had the what are we conversation, he hit me with the classic, I'm not looking for anything serious right now. Like, bro, why did you put all that effort into making me think you were? But did he say it? Did he say it? You can't go by what they do. Did he ask you to be his lady? Did he say, let's see where this goes? Let's be committed only to each other. Let's just do this. Did he say that? No. You jumped to conclusions and ran all around the world with your jump to conclusions and assumptions. And now you want to try to jam him up for doing something that you was wrong to assume in the first place. So that's your fault. And it's not just him. It just feels like this is the norm now. Guys want all the perks of a relationship, the connection, the comfort, the emotional support, without any of the actual responsibility. Well, then why do you give it to them if they don't have the responsibility? This is all your This is all on you. You don't give me and all of that if they're not giving you what you want. Remember, match energy. There's a video on the channel about this. You need to watch it because you just all running off half-cocked here. They want to hang out but not date. Well, why do you let them do that? If a guy says he wants to hang out with you, say, I don't know, you hang out with your dog, not me. Click. See, you're not handling this situation right. I mean, I'm glad you wrote because you just all off in left field with your dating. I don't know who taught you to date, but you don't know what you're doing. And you doing stuff all ass backwards. You have all the control here and you're not using it. You're just letting yourself be battered around by all these random dudes. They want the vibes without the label. I'm not saying I need to get married tomorrow, but is it too much to ask for someone who's actually open to a real relationship? Because honestly, I'm tired of being someone's good time until they find something better. Is this just a culture now, or am I just picking all the wrong people? And if this is the culture, how do I even navigate it? Because it's starting to feel like being upfront about wanting a relationship is the fastest way to scare someone off. I done told you never to say that. These girls must, I don't know, they must be new to this channel or something. They don't listen. Something's happening here. We're getting a lot of new people writing in and just like, they just don't know what they're doing. I would love to hear advice because at this point, I'm starting to think I should just stop dating altogether. Yes, you should, because until you get your shit straight. I want you to go through this channel, and I want you to start with the video of the Queen's Guide for Handling Men Like a Boss. Please start with that one. I did that one a couple of years ago, but it's got like 21 ways for you to handle men. Then there's another one. It's a 21. It's a 3-part series. It's 7 on each video about respect and what signs of disrespect that most women don't seem to really get. They don't even know they're being disrespected and that the man is a chump. So you start with those 2. Then there's a bunch of other ones on boundaries and this and that and all this other stuff. But the main thing is you're not handling yourself right. You're letting men dictate the relationship, and that's your job. You don't give a man everything that you got to give if he's not committed to you. Okay? And like I said, just having a boyfriend really ain't the lick anyway. I mean, all that means is that you just got one person that you agreed to bone. That's what that really means. Don't mean shit else. If you don't have a ring on your finger, then it's pointless. Boyfriend, it don't mean nothing. But it seems to mean a lot to you young girls, so we'll just roll with that. In reality, though, it don't mean shit. But you're looking for this commitment and all this other stuff, and you want to offer connection and comfort and emotional support. Why would you do that to a man who's not giving you those things back? Look at the video called Mirror His Energy? That's another one to add to your reading list. I'm gonna try to remember the link to all of those and put it, where is it? Up here somewhere where you put the little links and it shows when the video is playing. I'll remember to do that after. So you just click it and you can watch those videos. These are like foundational videos for any young woman that's going to call herself dating. You have got to get these foundational skills under your belt before you do anything with these men. You got to go out into this dating world with your mind strong, your spine shiny, and your boundaries in place. You have to have the ability to say no, fuck out of here. You think I'm willing me the foo-foo? Think again, fool. Well, I'm done here. This is over. You have to be able to say stuff like that and mean it. You don't let men talk to you crazy. Yeah. That's something like, I had threatened Hong Kong. I had threatened, that was a couple of years ago. Oh, I'm going to set up a profile. I'm going to check out this swipey thing. I'm going to set up, that's what I call all them apps. I call them all the swipey thing. I don't mention any of them by name. They all under the umbrella of the swipey thing because you swipe left and you swipe right? So I call them swipey thing. So I swore up and down, I'm going to check it out because I haven't even seen one. And I'm going to set me up a profile. And then the more I kept hearing about everybody's horrible stories, I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And plus, I know me, and I would only be on there for 2 minutes because somebody would, do that thing like report this person, because I would cuss them out, and then I wouldn't have the profile anyway. So no point. Yeah, it's like thousands, like almost 2,000 videos on this channel. It's just ridiculous. You could watch videos all day for 2 weeks and still never see all of them. But yeah, wait, I skipped something. Oh, okay, yeah. So that's what I'm going to tell you. You say that, these dudes, you try to be in someone's good time until they find something better. That's all under your control. The main thing you need to do is stop spending so much time with them and definitely don't sleep with them. Once you do that, then you've given up your power because you don't seem like to be the kind that can keep your mind strong and just do that and just get up and not be tripping. It's really unfortunate. So let's move on. That's enough to hear about that because it's the same shit over and over. I keep telling y'all to match their energy and you just don't listen. Question number 20. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from St. Louis, Missouri. Sarah issue. We were kissing on a second date and I grabbed her butt. The next day she said it made her uncomfortable and she ended things. Oh, you idiot. What a freaking fool. I am all for respecting boundaries and I never would want to make someone feel uncomfortable and yet you did. Isn't that funny how that works? We had just gotten a few drinks and it was in the heat of the moment. I kissed her goodbye, and as we were kissing, I grabbed her butt. She said she thought I was too handsy and ended it the next morning. This was the first time I had ever touched her, so it's just off-putting and confusing. I understand I crossed her boundaries, but how would I have known what those were if they weren't communicated? I just feel shitty about this, as you should, motherfucker. First of all, if you don't know a woman, this is your second date, what would possess you to put your hands anywhere below the waist? The way, where you should touch a woman, if you're going to give her a kiss and it's the second date, you touch her like this. Okay, you touch her like this. You hold her hands and you pull her in. You wrap your arms around her shoulders gently and kiss her. You do not reach your hand down, roaming around her back, roaming around her chest, or roaming around her ass. You violated every kind of boundary of respect that there is, and you want to act brand new and like you don't understand what you just did? That means you're stupid. And that means if you're that stupid, you shouldn't be dating. That's what that means. And I applaud her for having the courage to dump your silly ass. Because that was so extremely disrespectful and rude. You treated her like she was a hoe. And then you try to act all surprised that she don't want to see you again? Ignorant little fucker. Yeah. See that because Leandra would have reached around and snatched his wallet and went shopping with all his credit cards. That girl's wild. But yeah, she don't play that. She gonna do some shit like that. She gonna get paid for it. And it's not gonna really work too well for you. But yeah. Grabs her butt. He's lucky she didn't knee him in the groin. Man, what an idiot. I just feel shitty about this. You should feel shitty. And what woman's gonna have to tell you specifically, oh, when you kiss me, don't grab my butt. You sound like an idiot. You see how he's trying to make it her fault? Just a jerk. He's just a number one class jerk. Question number 21. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Columbus, Ohio. Third issue. My child's paternal grandparents don't know she exists. Do they have the right to know? When I got pregnant with my child, she's now 8, the father declined to have any involvement and blocked me on everything. I respected his decision and I raised her alone. Now that she's older, however, I find myself wondering about her right to know her paternal grandparents and their right to know her. I feel my daughter might later regret being denied the chance of knowing her grandparents. They seem like good people, and I suspect they might like to know their grandchild. They have no other grandchildren. I haven't personally met them, but know them well enough since they are relatives of my parents' family friends. But I have refrained from contacting them about my daughter for fear of causing family issues with their son. I don't think he has told anyone about his abandoned child. What would you do in this situation? Respect their privacy and never bring it up, or try to make contact in some kind of respectful way? I'm not really sure what that would entail, and I don't want to cause any issues. Thanks for any advice. Sorry, English is not my first language. Oh, well, that worked. I mean, it was fine. How would I handle this? The second that he left, I would have busted that bubble. I would have sent them a picture and said, like, your son is raggedy. Let me tell you what he did. He got me pregnant and then he just walked off and left me and the baby with no money, no support, no nothing. Just turned his back on his kid. Is that the value system that your family has? That's horrible. That's terrible. I just wanted you to know, just in case he didn't tell you, you have a grandchild out here. Oh no, it might not be. There's going to be two schools of thought. There's going to be the school of thought where people say don't do it, and then there's going to be the school of thought that say do it. Because my thing is this: if the people really don't know, and they're not like their son, because we raised our kids to the best of our ability, but they still gonna go rogue and do what the hell they want to do. It happens every day. People don't teach their kids to grow up and be murderers and artists and all that stuff. And yet that's what they do. They don't choose to do those kinds of things. They smoke, they do D things, they, just be horrible people. They weren't raised that way. And their siblings aren't that way. But they always got to be that one who goes against the grain, right? In some families it's more than one, but in most families there's at least one, that one kid that everybody's scratching their head trying to think, what happened to you? So in a situation like that, it's got to be a calculated bet that the people don't know about it. They don't know about the kid because he don't want to be embarrassed. So that's why it's good to say, well, I've given you this opportunity. If you choose not to, have any contact with her, that's fine, because that's the way we're living right now. But I just thought that, in case you were unaware, you do have a grandchild out here, and we would be open to having you to meet. That's all you have to say. And then if they don't do it, then you aren't losing anything. You're not gonna don't tell the kid, but you aren't losing anything because you just don't stay where you are. Otherwise, they might be some people that really nice people that would welcome the little girl into their life. I tell you, my grandmother, um, well, not necessarily because I too many families where that's not the case. Hong Kong, the apple fell way far from the tree. It's actually like the apple wasn't even an apple no more. It was a peach, a kumquat or some shit. I mean, they just, I don't know. Even my own brother, we all raised in the same. My oldest brother, I'm telling you, if my daddy hadn't like stomped him and beat his ass and punched him and stuff and brought him around to let him see what being a man that's you trying to buck up and stuff, to let him see that there's always somebody bigger and badder than you. And right in our own house, it happened for him. And my brother, I'm telling you, this boy, I mean, he could have just been in San Quentin, just as Folsom Prison. I mean, just as easily as he was at Pepperdine, because he was very smart, but he was trying to use his smarts for the wrong things, get involved in some wrong shit. And me and my other brothers, we just looking at him like, what in the world is going on with you? Why are you like this? Because we were all raised the same. So if somebody looked at that and how he did and said, well, the apple don't fall too far from the tree, they would have assumed that was the atmosphere in our household, and that was not the case. He went out and found that on his own. He decided to do what he wanted to do and just go, go rogue. So having that personal experience and seeing it in other people's families, my friends and stuff, I'm never gonna say that. And even if it does, I'm not gonna blame the parents for it because these are grown people. They ain't making decisions on their own. It's not the parents' fault when you pass the kid age. You doing what the fuck you want to do as an adult. So don't be trying to blame the parents. But in this case, that would be my approach. I would not tell my child, and I would just let them know, here's a picture, she's this and that, and she's in 8th grade. Give them a little drawing or something that she did. Don't tell her that, you send it to them. Don't involve her in this at all in case it blows up. And then just see what happens. They might be shocked and not have any idea that she even exists. Yeah. So just, but don't go leaving her with them or anything like that. Anytime you be around them, you better be right there, and you make sure she's in the room with you and you see it. She go to the bathroom, you go with her. She ain't spending the night. Ain't nobody taking her nowhere. Nothing like that's gonna go on. You looking at her every second that you around these motherfuckers because you don't know these people. And even if the grandparents are okay, but what about the other kids and the kids' friends and the neighbors? See, I be thinking about stuff like that. I be looking at people because people just trifling. And she's only 8 years old. So what's she gonna do? The baby. Let's move on. Question number 22. This is a male in the 20 to 34 age group from San Jose, California. Summary of issue. How bad was my approach? So me and this girl have made quite a few glances at each other at the gym. A few days ago, I approached her and I asked whether I could work out next to where she was and whether there's enough room for her. She smiled and said, "It's fine." I didn't want to interrupt her workout, so I left it at that. 2 days later, I see her again, and she keeps looking in my direction, but the timing wasn't right. I saw her again today with a girl who looked kind of similar sitting on the mat chatting away. I decided to approach from a position where they could see me walking towards them. I said, "Hey, sorry to interrupt, but are you twins?" They replied, "No, but we're sisters." Me, I thought I saw a resemblance, thought I'd ask. Sister of the girl I like, she's 6 years older. Me, what are your names? When I said this, the girl I like did kind of smile, but immediately suppressed it and told me her name. Her sister also told me her name. Me, cool, right, that's cool. I've seen you quite a few times, but haven't seen you. Then I looked at the girl I liked and said, "Are you more disciplined?" To which she said, "No, she's always here." Her sister then said, "I haven't seen you here before either." To which I replied, "I come at different times." Then I got kind of nervous and said, "Well, anyways, take care." They got up and immediately got out of that area. So what's the question? Oh, how bad was your approach? Dude, wait a minute. How old did you say you were? You're 28 to 34 and you're acting like this? I don't know what to say. Because like, okay, Deb the player. If I was the dude, this is how this would have went. Okay. So went up there saying, "Are you twins?" "No, we're sisters." I wouldn't have said, "Are you twins?" I said, "Okay, I see a resemblance here. You guys are related, right?" And they was like, "Yes, we're sisters." It's like, "Oh, okay, that's nice." Um, well, can I introduce myself? My name is Tom Tom the player. That's what I do. How's your workout today? And they talk about their little workout and stuff and stuff. Well, what's your fitness goals? And what you think? What you doing? What you doing? And then like, oh, well, maybe we can work out. We'll work out side by side again one day and everything. When I see you guys here the next time, I come at different times, so I'm not always available. But if I see you, then I'll reach out. So you want to make it seem like you're not pressed, right? You ain't gonna be trying to hook up no schedule. It's loose and easy, no pressure. If I see you, because I come at different times, who knows when the fuck I'm gonna be here and stuff like that, right? You leave it loose, so they'll be like, oh, they'll be looking for you then. When you do it that way, they can keep an eye out to see when they're gonna see you, and they'll be anticipating seeing you because of that one little line that you dropped out there. Well, I come at different times, so. But not the way you did it like a defense mechanism. I'm doing it like bait. So they'd be like, "Oh, he comes at different times." So they start thinking about, "Oh, how are we going to calculate so we won't work out with him? We're going to have to be here when he's here. I wonder how that's going to work out." So you see how I mean? It's a different mentality. And then you say, "Well, I'll leave you ladies to it. Enjoy the rest of your time here at the gym. I got to finish up my workout, and I'll talk to you next time I see you." And you deuce out. Would I have asked them their names? No, I would not have asked them for their names because that would be something for the next time. You guys will actually work it out together. Then you ask them for their names. Now, if I was going to do it, that's how I would have done it, not the way that you did it. So you want to know how bad was your approach? I mean, it wasn't super bad, but it was very awkward considering your age. But say, what approach? Exactly. It was like, dude, that was so awkward. That's very awkward. But anyway, that's how I would have handled it. The whole game thing when you're trying to do when you're a dude and you don't want to press the women. Okay, you don't want to press them. You want to leave them room to wonder about you, to have questions about you, to be curious about you. You don't want to run them off with your anxiousness, your grabbiness, your forwardness, and your rude, overly handsy approaches, which is just the norm for dudes. You don't have no game whatsoever. You draw women to you. You don't run them away. Okay. You just drop a little stuff there and you let them, feel comfortable and relax. You give them space to think about you, fantasize about you, and be curious about you. And then they come back. Not to say it's going to work and be a relationship or anything, but at least you'll have a little gym friend or something you can giggle with and work out with sometimes or something. Get on the cardio machine next to her or some shit. I don't know what people do, but it's not. You doing too much. You made this way too hard. It's not this serious. But the main thing, like I said, that men mess up is you don't give women the options and the space that they need to fantasize about you. That's a major mistake that men make these days. Just too greedy, too anxious, desperate, thirsty, just doing too much. You run the women off and make them be like, ew. They get the ick thing instead of being like, oh, that was interesting. He's kind of cute. And look at them back muscles. Ooh, shit, he wear that that top. This is kind of banging. So you see what I mean? It's a different. You're gonna leave her smiling and thinking about you and looking at you versus happy that your ass left. Let's move on. Question number 23. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from Nottingham, England. Issue. Am I rushing for a label with the guy that I'm seeing? I've been seeing a 30-year-old guy for about 4 months. He's very affectionate and our dynamic is the best I've experienced. And it feels like a pretty serious relationship. He told me he loved me pretty quickly in the relationship at the time. It was so new. I said, oh, and he seemed to panic and apologize. Since this, I have said it back and he hasn't said it again, not even in reciprocation. My issue is that if I feel like he's not trying to define the relationship. This past weekend, he came over the same time I had some family visiting, and I realized I didn't know how to introduce him as I didn't want to call him my boyfriend if he wasn't ready for that and make him uncomfortable. Our relationship is far from casual, and we see each other at least twice a week minimum and have done so since meeting up. So I thought this would be a perfect time to ask. I said to him, it's a bit weird for me to introduce you to my family, and I don't know how to introduce you. In turn, he responded, well, just tell them my name and answer any questions later. This left me more confused. Then when I started, so I explained that I wouldn't know what to say, which is my issue as I don't know what the parameters of our relationship are. We previously discussed it as more than friends with benefits and that he really does like me. However, I took this lack of clarity to say that we were not in a relationship and I need to adjust our interaction. As for me, 4 months spending a minimum of 2 days a week together, I feel like you should know or be able to give more information on what the dynamic is. So I use that to say from this conversation, I'm taking away that we are not in a relationship, to which he looked at me like I'd gone mad and proceeded to ask me why. When I explained that he's essentially said a whole lot and not clarified anything, he said to me, in that case, you're a Schrodinger's cat situation, as I've never said we are or we are not. I doubled down that the lack of clarity he has been willing to provide suggests an absence of a relationship, and that if I had just assumed that we were girl or boyfriend, then that would be mad, as I started to believe that at this point he could have nook with half of England. And I caught him and said I thought we would be together. Okay, man, oh my God, let me just sip some of this. So we have settled on this understand that we are in a relationship. I still don't understand what it means because the word relationship is vast. Example, I have a relationship with my milkman, essentially, if we are using my definition side of things. Is 4 months too long for me to be committing to someone who hasn't officially defined the type of relationship that we have? I'd ask my friends, but they love me and are extremely biased. P.S. Thank you, Deb, for reading this, and apologies for any grammatical errors. Autocorrect is not my friend. Yeah, girl, you just wrote too much. That's just the main thing. Okay. The main thing is, what I always tell women is like, you don't ask men shit. You don't ask them. You tell them. Say, well, if we're going to continue seeing this, we're going to have a title. It's 4 months in. You for sure know by now if you want to be in a committed situation with me or not. So which one is it? Now you give him that choice. He can say yes or no. But you don't ask him what are we. You tell him what we are, and then he either agrees or disagrees. Right? Because it's like, this is why I don't like this kind of stuff. Like, for those of you who want to have this title, these are the kind of things that you should work out before you start getting all emotionally involved with these dudes. You should have been dating 2 or 3 dudes at the same time. Then you wouldn't be wondering what we are. You would be having a good time with other dudes, and you wouldn't be pressed about what he's talking about. Right? But that's not what you did. So in this situation, when you introduce them to your family, so just say, well, this is Roger. This guy I've been kind of kicking it with. We don't know if we're in a relationship or not, but I guess we'll figure that out soon enough. But for now, just call him Roger. That's what I would do. I would clown his ass. I'm gonna do some double talking shit. Let me show you how it's done, son. Now my family would be looking at him like he was crazy. And then I would just be smiling like him, like, what? What? Why are you looking like that, Roger? Dummy. Question 24. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Southampton in the UK. Summary of issue. My boyfriend tells me every mundane detail about his day, and it's annoying and exhausting. My boyfriend is 23 and I'm 25, and we've been dating for 3 months. Why are you dating a younger man in your 20s? That's stupid. My complaint is that he sends me 5 minutes long voice messages telling me the most mundane things about his day, like that he drank too much water, so now he has to go pee soon, or just specific things they've talked about in his work meeting, or that his friend told him that he bought a new microwave. Deb, I swear I am not exaggerating. If possible, I try to be a good girlfriend and come up with responses, but sometimes I literally can't, and I honestly signal that I just don't really care, but he's not picking up on it. And the thing is, he likes hearing about the same thing about my day. He is genuinely interested to know what tasks I'm doing at work, what I've eaten for lunch, etc. I'm mind blown by how anyone could care because I'm so different. Please don't get me wrong. I care about him and the important things. I wish him luck on important stuff, and that's how he was and how he feels. I also don't mind giving each other a general summary of our day, but for the love of God, I do not need to know when he has the urge to pee. Oh my God, this is hilarious. In fact, I'm getting really annoyed at him when he feels like he can bore me and take up so much of my time with these things. I tried talking to him about it face to face, but sort of beat around the bush a little because I didn't know how to say, I don't care about every little detail of your day in a way that wasn't hurtful. He just said that he's someone who likes to talk about everything. I'm also thinking he might be lonely living alone and working from home, so he needs to tell me everything throughout the week because when he's with me on the weekend, he's not like that. Maybe add the fact that our relationship is still new and lovey dovey. He wants to call me every day and misses me terribly when we are apart. I just don't have these strong urges to be connected 24/7, and I never will for anyone. It's just not me. I'm lost. Please help me. Tell me what to do. I like him, but he's making me feel annoyed every single day. Well, how can you do this in a way that's not going to send little dude to the moon? Uh, Maybe a limit. Set a limit on it. Like say, well, I'm going to give you 10 minutes to tell me about your day. Sum that shit up, and then we're going to talk about something else, or then I have to go because I have, blah, blah, this report due or something like this. So, I mean, give him a limit that he has to do all his little emoting, and then you say, okay, well, that was good. Now I got to go now, and then dip out. You have to find a compromise. That's his way of feeling close to you when you guys are apart. So for you to shut that all the way down is going to have a very negative emotional reaction in him. You don't want to do that. What you're going to have to do, though, is put boundaries on it, put parameters around it so that it's not all the time, it's not all day long. It's a certain time of day and it's a certain length of time. If you can work that out. No, I mean, girl, please. That's some people are just like that, Mo, and I'm one of them. I could love you to death, but please, I don't want to hear about the bumps on your ass and the burps that you made and how bad you had to pee when you was in this meeting. I just don't. I don't want to hear all of that. I don't care. I don't. That's not interesting to me whatsoever. I don't want to know that. And so, it's just this is a personality type. So like me when I'm having a conversation with people, some people like to go into the weeds and just every look, and then I said, and then she said, and then girl, and then she looked like this, and then she breathed like that. And then, they want to know every fine detail. I just give me the Cliff Notes version. Sum the shit up and let's move on. And that's my personality. My mind is going 1,000 miles a minute. I gotta process a whole bunch of stuff, and I can't devote too much time and energy to your play by play. That's not interesting to me at all. So she's like me. That's why I understand where she's coming from, and that's why I think she got to give that. She got to give him something. She got to give him something, but she also has to do she has to put parameters around it so that she's not feeling put upon, which is what's going on right now. So they're gonna have to work this part out. But that's my suggestion. Girl, no, I just cannot do that. I cannot with people. Question number 25. This young lady's 22 to 27 in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Summary of issue. I found out that my boyfriend has been hiding $63,000 in credit card debt. Okay, how does somebody get that much in credit card debt? How do I move past this? I've been with my boyfriend for over a year and a half. We live together and are 27 and 33 respectively. He is my best friend and I honestly thought we had it all figured out. But the other day I grabbed a piece of mail for him someone dropped off from his old building. They said it was a check, so I opened it and it ended up being a consolidation loan offer for $63,000. We had talked about finances several times. He said he had $15,000 in student loans left and that was it. I called him and he denied having any credit card debt and then stopped responding. He came home from work and didn't say anything. Finally, 2 days later, I brought it up and he admitted it. He said he was going to pay it off before I ever noticed it and was ashamed of himself. We were planning on staying in this apartment for another year and then buying a house. When we toured units, I pushed for something nicer. We could have gotten a cheaper rent. We could have budgeted and eaten at home. I honestly thought he was financially conservative and had it together before this. He always followed through on everything he said. He's on time for everything. He's organized. He was supposed to be the responsible one. I honestly can't even believe that someone like him would let this happen, let alone lie to me for months and plan a future with me while being in crippling debt. I feel like my whole perception of him was a lie. Every special thing he did was on a credit card. He has no savings and has been talking about buying a house with me and building a life. I love him so much, but our whole dynamic feels different. I don't know what to think. Trust is broken, and I no longer see an equal, rock-solid partner when I look at him. Deb, I want to get married and buy a house in the next 2 years with him. And all of a sudden, that dream is dead, and I am dating a financially illiterate 31-year-old with no savings and a mountain of debt. How do I move forward? Well, right now, he's single, and his debt ain't your business. You talk about all the stuff that you want to do, save your money, then do it. Because you can buy a house by yourself. You don't have to buy it with him. Okay? You can do everything that you want to do here, you can do, but you just don't have to do it with him. I guess the get married part. But the main thing I think I'd want to figure out is how did he get to be in debt to the tune of $63,000? I'd want to sit down with him and do a play-by-play. And then, start looking at those debt those he can buy for debt consolidation loan, which is one thing. But they also have those debt counseling agencies, and sometimes you can get credit card companies to lower the amount that you owe or write some bills off altogether if they've been around for years and years. So, there's ways to approach this that could reduce that debt amount. But you're not going to marry him, and you're not going to commingle any funds with him either. You're going to have to keep a separate bank account. He's not going to have your ATM or PIN number. He's going to keep his fine. He's going to handle his stuff separately. And what he really needs to do, if he's got that much debt and he wants to pay it off within a couple of years, is get a second job. He needs to get a second job, so all this paycheck from his second job will go towards paying that debt. That's what I would suggest. Something happened. If he's all organized and all the stuff that you say now, then in his youth there was something happened, and you need to find out what that was. Well, she might plan on marrying him, but she's not married to him yet, and so he has the option. She's talking about 2 years. In 2 years, if he works the second time, he can pay all that off. Like I said, if he takes the steps I said, goes and approaches the companies and negotiates a lower amount, and then starts paying that stuff off by working a second job, in 2 years he'll be debt free. He won't be going out nowhere. He won't be going on vacations, and he won't be buying any fancy clothes and stuff like that. All his money will be going to pay his debt, but it's very doable in 2 years. You pay every 2 weeks or whenever you get paid, twice a month, whatever. You don't just make a payment once a month. You pay that shit off quicker. So she's like running around like Chicken Little on in a panic, but she's not his wife. So nothing about this situation impacts her, not right now. Well, that's what I'm saying. She needs to find out. That's why she needs to ask, what happened? How did this happen? And she hasn't done that. She's just running around in fear and just like, oh Lord. She's not really investigating the situation. That's what I would do. I'd be like, okay, this is a lot. How did this happen? What happened? Well, what was going on in your life that made this, the situation happen the way it did? I would want to know that. because that will also tell you if it's likely to happen again or if it was a one-off situation. Sometimes when people get them credit cards fresh out of college and stuff, they go buck wild because they don't have any concept about debt and interest rates and all this kind of stuff. And companies used to do that. And so they get a whole bunch of college students would be in debt before they even really knew what happened. And, they weren't financially literate. They just knew whatever they knew, social studies and whatever they was taking in college. They didn't have any real financial knowledge. This was a big scam. Big scam. Well, she said that he is, he followed through on everything and he's on time for everything and he's organized and he's financially conservative now. So this debt was incurred in the past. And so we can't talk about now. We have to figure out what was going on in his life then that made this situation happen. That's what I'm talking about. So, she's saying that whatever's going on with him is not, in the present. He's trying to consolidate it to make it easier to pay off. But I'm saying there's other steps to be taken, to contact the credit card companies and to start negotiating those amounts, those interest rates, all that stuff. Knock that shit down. And then he won't owe so much. And then he works a second job and then he could, do it. But he can hide the debt because they're not married. It's not her fucking business what his debt is. That's the part y'all not getting. They're a couple, but they're not married. So what he has in his bank account and what his debts are is not her goddamn business. Same with hers with him. People just have their noses way too much. They're not even engaged. So it's not her business what his money situation is. She just too knee deep in his Kool-Aid. She just assuming all this stuff like she's his fucking wife and she's not. Just a fucking girlfriend. She just stay in her lane, stay out of his business. Question number 26. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from Durham, North Carolina, female 28 to 34 as well. Type of issue. I feel like my girlfriend uses my past mistakes against me. How do I stop this cycle? Like getting a new girlfriend. Is this a trick question? 2 years ago, I made a mistake in our relationship by texting an ex, which understandably hurt my girlfriend. I've since apologized and done everything I can to rebuild trust, including going to couples therapy. Over text? Despite this, she brings it up during every argument, even when it's unrelated. I understand her feelings, but it feels like no matter what I do, I always be the guy who messed up. I love her and I want to move forward, but I'm starting to feel defeated. How can I address this in a way that helps both of us heal and move on? Why did you ask me this? I don't give a fuck about these broads and they tripping things. So when she started bringing this up, I said, yeah, you know what? I should have kept texting her. I should have texted her and asked her to come meet me at a hotel because then I would have to be dealing with this bullshit from you, bringing this shit up every single time. All I did was text the broad and you just act like I committed World War III or something. I'm tired of this shit. You do this shit one more time, we're through. I'm telling you, I'm done. I'm up to here with you and your record player on repeat shit about a goddamn text. I don't want to hear this shit. Either you're going to forgive me or you're not. And since it don't seem like you are, then let's just break up. That's what I would do. Well, my thing is this. They're not engaged. They're not married. It's not her business. I think asking someone about their debt when you're not engaged to them and not married to them is inappropriate. Now, if someone was dating me and they asked me about my debt, I would tell them it's none of your goddamn business what my debt is. My salary, nothing. You must in my bank account, what my investments are. None of my financials are your concern. Mind your business and stick your nose out of mine. That's what they would have got from me. I'm not telling nobody that. He's supposed to hide the debt. It's not her business. You guys just don't seem to get it. It's not her business. She's not his wife. She's just some broad that he's fucking, okay? And she don't need to know all his financial business. It's not her business. Y'all be getting girlfriends and wives mixed up. You thinking because somebody's a girlfriend that it's community property money or some shit and that everybody got to tell you all their business. The answer to that question is no. He's entitled to hide anything he wants to about his money, his investments, and his salary. It's not her concern, her business. It's inappropriate for her to even ask him. Exactly. He's single. He didn't have to tell her, but Anna, that's what I said. He could get that Paid off in 2 years with a good plan. It's not even that big of a deal. That's people with $200,000 or $300,000 worth of debt and they get it paid off. So 60-something thousand, which I said, but he can get it knocked down, get the interest rates knocked down by working out an agreement with the credit card companies. This happens every day. They have companies that do that for you. And get this, she gets cut in half sometimes. She's not engaged. She's not engaged though. And at the point where you would talk about getting engaged, that's when he's fighting, because now you're gonna move forward together. While you just dating, that's not your business. If you start proposing, talking about getting married and all this kind of stuff, and you guys are actually planning, like proposals and buying rings and whatnot, that's the point at which you would talk about that. But right now, just as his mere girlfriend, that's inappropriate for her to even be having that conversation. They ain't at that point yet. She's like, well, I want to do this in 2 years. Well, did he say he wants to do it? See, that part wasn't clear. In 2 years, he won't have the debt, Anna. Mm-hmm. Dude was already making moves to consolidate it so he could pay it off faster. That's how she found out, remember? So he's handling it, but she just found out about it, and it's just all in her, got to be in her bonnet. And her panties all in a bunch. But he's better than me, because I would have told, it's none of your fucking business. Stay out of my business and stop opening my goddamn mail. That's how you found out some shit that wasn't your business. That was what you just committed, was a felony. Which it is, to open other people's mail like that. Question number 27. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from Edmonton, Canada. Female, same age. Summary of issue. I got into a situation I never expected, and I don't know what to do. My girlfriend of 6 months just told me that she has 3 kids. How do I process this? Hey, auntie, I'm a 21-year-old male, and my girlfriend of 6 months is 25. She just told me that she has 3 kids. I was unaware of 2 of them. She told me that she was scared to reveal them because she didn't know how to and didn't know how I was going to react. Oh, man, I'm really stuck because I really love this girl, and she has all the qualities I would want in my wife. But right now, I just don't know if I'm ready to be with someone with 3 kids. She told me about 1, and I accepted it. And then she told me about the other 2, and I just kind of shut down. She also has an extensive support system with the kids and their families. Really looking forward to your and the squad's opinions on how I should proceed, because I really don't want to lose her. At the moment, I know that she was untruthful, but the feelings we have for each other were real, and it probably has been the best 6 months of my life. My young lad, you are 21 years old. You're a baby. You're going to fall in love with plenty of other people that have similar qualities, that don't have the baggage of 3 random children. Now, if you were my son, that is what I would tell you. You ain't marrying her, so you whatever thought that was, you get that shit out your mind. Because one thing we not going to do is, at 21, come up with an instant, 3 kids in an instant family. Because I'm like, if she's only 25 and she already got 3 kids, why was she so irresponsible with her BC? What the fuck was she doing? That you just want to be randomly breeding and stuff all over the place, and you're only 25 years old. Not married, just got 3 baby kids. So to me, that shows irresponsibility. And, we're talking young lives here. So when you get involved with her, you would assume responsibility not only for her, but for the protection and the support of those children. At 21, are you prepared to do that? Most 21-year-olds are not. I mean, your heart might be there, but I don't think you have the maturity, and definitely not the financial stability, to take on a task like that. So what would I recommend if you were my child? I would say that you're going to break up. It might be the best 6 months of your life, but guess what? You're going to have 6 good months with somebody else that's going to have all the qualities you want, and you won't have to compromise such a big part of your life. She made some choices, but I mean, they certainly was her choices to make. Nobody, was forcing her or anything. But this is why I tell girls, don't be baby mamas, because, you have this situation now. She got this young guy, and he, doesn't have any children, and he wants a woman that doesn't have any children. He was willing to accept her with one, whatever. But now she got, like a whole half a basketball squad and shit. And so he's like, oh, wait, what? I can't do this. He's only 21 years old. No. So, people need to be thinking about this when they be talking about, I'm going to have this baby. I would not have shit. Let's move on to question number 28. I think I'm going to make it to 30. Then I'm going to leave them last 6 or 7 questions for another day because this is a bit much. He's 18 to 21 at Newcastle upon Tyne in the UK. The female is also 18 to 21. Summary of issue. My girlfriend is using my card a lot and even without permission. How do I tell her to stop without sounding like a broke bee? You keep letting her use that card, you're going to be a broke bee, for real. We're both 18 and my girlfriend doesn't have a job. Well, she did and quit like a weekend, so she has never really had a job or any of her own money, besides what her parents give her and what she gets on birthdays. I'm 18, just out of high school, trying to save up for a car and cannot do it because my girlfriend's excessive use of my card. I'd only given her my card in case she needed a ride home, and nobody could give her one because when she had lost her job, she didn't have a ride home, so she would have walked for 2 hours if I didn't order her an Uber. And I'd occasionally let her get some McDonald's, but lately she's just been charging my card every time she goes to the mall. Deborah really lost over $500 in savings, which is a good chunk of cash for me. I'm 18 and work a registered job, and $500 is 2 weeks of pay. I also pay for groceries at home and my sister's Uber rides, and I also pay for all our dates and my brother's wrestling tournaments of gear, with her charging $50 to $100 every time she goes to the mall. I literally can't pay for anything. Okay, but why are you letting her do that? In my culture, the man is supposed to cover everything. The woman just has to tend to the kids in the home, but we're not married, nor do we live together, and we've been dating for a little over a year now. I wanted to calm down with my car usage, but I don't want to seem like a broke bee. I hinted at it by telling her I was on a budget, and somehow I'm negative $500 for the month. I don't think she got the memo because she went to the mall, asked if she can get a $5 drink, and I said yes, and she didn't go to charge my card 5 more times for $5 to $10 purchases. Help me, take your card back and go to the bank and change the number. Get a new card and a new PIN. That's what you do. And then you don't give it to her anymore. Okay? She's not your wife. There's no reason for you to be taking care of her like that. That's her job. Or her parents, if they want to. That's not your job, sir. You have family to help to take care of, and that's what I would tell her. I can't even do what I need to do with the responsibility I have with my little brother and my sister because of you. So this shit here, this is gonna stop. I love you and everything, but I can't love you that much. You need to get a job. I'll start turning tricks, do something with yourself. But you need to get out of my pocket. That's what I would tell her. I know you're not going to do that, but you asked me and I'm stupid, and so there you go. That's what I would tell her. Question 29. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Washington, D.C. Summary of issue. Am I overstepping by being upset that my partner hid his bonus? My partner and I have been together for 5 years, and while we keep separate finances, we've always been open about money. So when I found out he got a huge bonus win on stake of $2,000 and didn't tell me, it stung. I didn't find out because I was snooping or anything. They casually mentioned it weeks later, almost like an afterthought. When I asked why he didn't tell me sooner, he shrugged it off, saying it didn't seem important. But to me, it feels like a big deal. I'm not upset because I want the money or feel entitled to it. I just thought we shared things like this. To add context, we always talked about our financial wins, even though we don't pool our money. For instance, when I recently came into a bit of unexpected cash, I told him right away because it felt natural to share. Now I'm wondering if I've been oversharing while he has been holding back. Am I overreacting for feeling hurt about this? Or is it fair to expect more openness in a relationship even when it comes to finances? Again, you are not his wife. Just because you've been hanging around in the periphery of his world for 5 years, you don't have them kind of privileges. He can too tell you if he wants to, but should you expect it? No. And should you be telling him about your money? No. So yeah, you overshare, but he tells not to overshare, and so that you can't be mad at him because it's not your money. It's not your husband. You don't have no claim to what he wins or earns or nothing because you're not his wife. Now, I hope I made that clear. Whatever he wins, that's his red wagon. He can tell you or not, and you can't get mad. It's not your goddamn business. How many times I have to keep saying this tonight? Yeah, she just been running her mouth. As usual, women just want to tell too much. What you got, you should have just kept it to put it in your bank account and kept your mouth closed. If he didn't care, it's not his business. It wasn't going to be nothing in his pocket. That's your money. And our final question of the night for tonight. 30 questions we did. This is a young lady in the 20 to 34 age group from Los Angeles, California. Summary issue: discussion of racial dating preferences. I'm finding out that I'm one in a long line of East Asian women that this white guy has dated. Personally, I find it extremely off putting, but I always hear things like, well, it's just a preference, or I can't control what I'm attracted to, or what about Asian girls that only date white guys? As if that's the equivalent of a white guy with an Asian fetish. I thought I would ask you, as a black woman who may have more experience with this type of thing. Any thoughts? Yeah, I don't like that. I don't know how the white guys do it, but what happens a lot with black men. Well, yeah, I know that's not no, because white girls have told me that the white guys do too. Okay, because what they do is they start to put down the woman of their own ethnicity to elevate this, chosen fetish chick up and make her, give her blow up her head and make her think that she's better. So they'll say, well, black women are this, they be having too much attitude. That's a typical one. And whereas Asian women are more demure and they have all these stereotypes that they like to believe. And the white guys do, they say the same shit. And then because the white girls will listen to me, and they make me feel like a man and all that stuff, whereas y'all don't. You want to be arguing all the time, you can't get no peace with y'all. So they put like every single woman of their own ethnicity into one bucket, as if they have met and dated every single one of the women, and they're all the same. That's what I hate, because that is that's their way of trying to make the woman feel like she's special. And it's just like what the guy told me, that you're not like the typical black woman, black person. It's the same principle, where they're trying to elevate you to make you believe that you're somehow better than other people that look just like you, have your same education, experience, whatever. Somehow, they because they're humble the blessings of great whiteness that they have bestowed upon you, the super nigga title, and so now you better than everybody else because they said so. It's the same shit. So I don't like that. And men who do that kind of thing to me, say that kind of stuff to me, I immediately dismiss them from my world, because to me that is ignorant, and it is a put down. And what it also is a setup, because you, as the woman that he's trying to elevate and big up and all stuff, now you have to perform to the script that he's just laid out. You have to be all these things, and you can't be nothing over there. So like he said, black women have an attitude. You can't have an attitude at him ever, because you just like them. You see what I mean? So it's a setup. So you have to stay in script, in this play, this role that he has ascribed to you, based on what these women of this race are not. And that is an impossible task. It's impossible. So he's not accepting you. He's not looking at you for who and what you are. He's got you in some kind of like stereotypical play script, where you got a script, and you can't deviate from the script. Otherwise, all hell's gonna break loose. So a woman of any ethnicity who here is dating a man of, he's not her same ethnicity, and he starts talking about the women of his own ethnicity and putting them down in any way, shape, or form, he should be immediately dumped, because he's an idiot, and he's going to set you up to where, you're just going to fail. It's not going to work for you. It's just not going to work. He has to be where he sees you as a woman, and you just happen to be, this other thing that he, is attracted to, but that wasn't why he chose you. And these guys that I'm talking about, that is why they choose you. They don't really care, about your uniqueness as a woman. They mainly care because you white, you Asian, you black, you Latino, whatever their fantasy is. They're mainly looking at you because you fit that type, not because you are the wonderful person that you are. I want to remind you guys too that go onto the website on the content. I set up February Day is a day. Remember, I used to do a whole month. Can't do it no more. Can't do it. We're going to have February Day on Saturday, February 15th. It's going to start at noon. I'm going to try to line up a couple of guests to break it up, so not just me talking all that time, but, and where you guys can call in and stuff. So it'll be, a day-long event, probably about 6, 7 hours at least. And we'll do that on Saturday, February 15th, day after Valentine's Day. We'll get that rolling for you. And yeah. What else am I thinking about? I guess that's about it, right? Um, yeah. That's my little outro. I actually, oops, I played it too soon. But anyway, I'm supposed to play it and then I'm supposed to say goodbye, but I messed up. Sorry, people. I'll see you guys real soon, though. I'm gonna try to get back here to do the next show on Wednesday, no, Thursday next week. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you soon. Check out all the little shorts that I put up on the channel and let me know what you think about them.